Make it a clean sweep. I got Dallas 11-6.
Kept the, I know they would say, oh, well, he kept the tag applied. He could have kept the tag applied and not straddled homeboy. You know what I mean? He could have moved his leg. So.
Oh, it was fine. It's just.
I'm just saying.
Ramirez
I
just
mean,
had a little.
it wasn't necessary.
Nothing wrong.
It didn't need to get to that extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong.
Bills in a last-second field goal or a last-second touchdown by Aaron Rodgers to take the division.
He's kicking field goals too. I want to bet.
Right?
I want.
Oh boy, it's the Let's Talk Sports Show with Nick Butkins.
Good evening, everybody. I don't know what the hell happened there. Sam's just, we can't even use the R word in today's world. Good evening. Welcome to another great LTS show, folks. I am a loss of words, just like Jets fans are right now. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the Jets have all the hope in the world. They make the trade for Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, and on the very first drive, he gets hurt. Looks like x-rays might be negative, but he is done for the night, got the boot on. Seems to be some sort of ankle injury, but AR8 out for the game. Wish I could go back and change my pick because I picked the Jets to win this game, and doesn't look like that's going to happen now without AR, and they got Zach Wilson in there. So a little somber intro here. I feel bad. The Jets fan base might be the most cursed fan base in all of sports. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 13 years, the longest drought in the NFL, and they finally get a franchise quarterback, and, well, the first, I think it was the third play of the game maybe, he gets hurt. So not great, done for the night. Speaking of somber, a couple of these guys' team, well, we're going to bring in the guys. No Johnny Cruz tonight. He is off, still celebrating that big win. Tua balled out last night. He's still celebrating, so we won't see Johnny Cruz tonight as he's celebrating. But everybody else's team, besides my team, absolutely stunk up the joint yesterday or on Thursday. Speaking of stinking up the joint, we'll bring in Mr. First Down here.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Sam,
I knew you were going to act this way.
how were the Titans absolutely stunk yesterday. Ryan Tannehill, I gave my turd of the week yesterday to the Bengals, but Ryan Tannehill probably could have got a close second.
Right. There were three horrible quarterbacks yesterday: Ryan Tannehill, Joe Burrow, and Kenny Pickett. I think I shared that tweet. But yeah, actually the rest of the team looked okay. It was just Ryan Tannehill. And when the data comes out, and it came out today, they had the chart of where wide open receivers were during every play, and he just didn't hit them. Didn't hit them at all. Just tried to force it the D-hop the whole time. But yeah, it was pretty unacceptable performance, and I highly doubt Mike Vrabel puts up with it over and over again. I'll tell you that much.
How soon till we go to the kid and Will Levis?
Let's see. Probably, if that's going to happen, I would say after week 4. Because I just got this feeling that Vrabel doesn't like Malik Willis very, very much. I think he'd rather roll the dice with Levis. Levi's, as my phone keeps correcting his last name too.
Yeah, Titans lose a close game to the Saints. I wish the Saints didn't cover. I needed the Saints to kick a field goal or something there late in that fourth quarter.
Derek Carr, also the younger version of Ryan Tannehill, as you watch that game.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, and we'll kind of talk with the other guys in the group chat. You said every game's sloppy, and I gave you a pretty good explanation on why it's sloppy. Yeah. And we'll talk about that with the other guys here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Hall of Famer back from his cocaine bender in Las Vegas, none other than Mr. Scott Cope. Scott, how we doing, brother? The Hall of Famer Tom Brady showed up, and the Patriots didn't show up.
Well, you got to bring up old news. I can't believe it. Hey, Mac Jones played well yesterday. I mean, we have a quarterback. Bill O'Brien has made a huge difference in making him look like he's an NFL ready quarterback. So, they took the NFC division, the NFC champions to the wire basically. So, after being down 16-0, I'm not happy they lost, but I'm happy at least they showed up and they played. Jalen Hurts didn't look like a good quarterback yesterday at all. And Dallas Goedert had 0 catches. Devonta Smith had 3, and A.J. Brown wasn't a factor. So, Bill's game plan was spot on. And I am not unhappy that the Jets fans are displeased right now. Believe me, that's our rival up here in Foxborough. So I'm not unhappy at all. So.
To me, they just got the Patriots yesterday. Just not enough talent on the offensive side of the ball. That's what cost them.
That's exactly what it is. When Hunter Henry's your leading receiver, there's a problem, and he's a tight end, and he's not a great tight end. He's a decent tight end. So that's a problem for me. That Hunter Henry is the leading receiver. Devontae Parker was out yesterday. Ramondre Stevenson's battling a stomach bug. Zeke was their best running back. There's a lot of problems on the offensive side that they need to take care of. But Mac Jones is not one of them. So,
yeah, Mac looked good. Looked like Mac is back. Speaking of back, my Packers are back, baby. That's right, Jordan Love. Not 1, not 2, but 3 freaking touchdowns yesterday. No interceptions. I don't know. Reminds me of a guy who had a great performance like that. His name's Aaron Rodgers. So.
We feel sorry for Jets fans. We should feel sorry for Bears fans.
New stadium, same stadium, new owner, baby.
But here's what I will say:
story.
There is a report out that Aaron Rodgers' injury could be Achilles related. Not that it is, but the rumor is from a physical therapist that tweeted out something. Jeff Mueller, I think is his name.
X-rays came back negative.
That his Achilles, his back of his leg trembled, which suggests that it's maybe a strained Achilles or not a torn, but a strained Achilles. So be on the lookout for that after the game. That maybe it's a strain. He might be out a week or 2. If not good, he was limping a lot, even coming off the field. So
couldn't put pressure on it.
Yeah, he couldn't put any pressure on it. So that's, it could be a sprained ankle. It could be a high ankle sprain. It looked like a very, innocuous play where he just went down, but his leg must have twisted the wrong way or something. So,
yeah, that's what happens when you're 39 years old. You know that. So
it's what happens when you play for the Jets. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. From Green Bay to the Jets. This is what happens. So
high ankle sprains are tricky. Tannehill, wasn't doing fine, but he was managing the game last year, and he got the high ankle sprain during the Chargers, and it just wrecked everything for us.
And I will say this: watching the game tonight, Breece Hall looks explosive again.
He does. He does.
Yeah, the injury concern with him is 0 right now, right? I mean, looks amazing.
Dalvin Cook, other than this run that he just got 8 or 9 yards, looks a very old running back right now. He's not getting much of anything. So
all the holdups, we speaking of running backs, we saw Jacobs come to a deal, and today we came to a deal. Chris Stone Cold Jones got his 1-year deal done, and I'm sure Tanner here is as happy as I'll get out that Stone Cold Jones is back for the Chiefs on a 1-year deal. No New Year's, just a bunch of money, allegedly.
Me and Scott just shaking our head about what we just saw.
I'm shaking my head before Tanner goes. Zach Wilson's being Zach Wilson again. He just threw a pick. So,
oh, that's a middle finger. That's a middle finger from a fan.
This guy right here. Are you just shitting me right now? Are you just shitting me right now?
They just shut the Jets guy, and this Jets guy's in the front row, just like.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Put it all up. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You guys are about a half a minute ahead of me because I just now saw the interception.
Let me just tell you something.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Like Aaron Rodgers goes out, sure, whatever, that's fine. But now
it's not fine. Don't say it's fine because it's not fine.
Well, I'm thinking about my fantasy teams here, right? I don't need Bills in two scenarios to not have multiple turnovers. Rodgers goes out, and I got to deal with Zach freaking Wilson at quarterback now, who's going to throw 6 picks and probably already fumble a couple.
Every Jet fan feels your pain. Every Jet fan feels your pain.
My brother's going to beat me because Mosley and the Bills defense is going to encounter like 20 points. I'm screwed. Wilson's not going to get 20 points. Wilson's probably going to get 3 at this rate. This is
your fantasy team, Tanner, isn't it?
This has ruined all of our bets, Scott.
I mean, he threw it right to him.
Right to him. Right to him.
I need Garrett Wilson to do something, and I don't think that's going to happen now.
Well, here's the honest thing: is I was all over the Bills tonight in bets. Josh Allen's interception, he threw one, which he always does. James Cook over 2 receptions are over. He's at 1 right now. He'll get the second one. I'm not concerned.
By the way, go ahead, Scott.
And Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown, and he scored a touchdown. So I have 2 out of my 3 of cash so far. So.
Tanner, I want to talk about the Stone Cold Jones deal here.
Stone Cold Jones.
One year deal.
Cool.
I mean, this is his last year. Is this his last swan song in Kansas City? Got to be, right?
Yeah, it's this last year. It was his last year, week 0, as he was still holding out. So it's his last year. It's like, hey, come play with us the rest of the time. Here's your pay raise, buddy. See you later. We're going to Tyreek kill you, and we're going to let you go. We're going to let you walk.
Let me ask you guys this. Sam made the point yesterday in the group chat. A lot of sloppy play, and we're seeing it even tonight. A lot of soft tissue injuries happen a lot of week 1, week 2. Equivalent to that is that they have cut back on 2-a-days, the practices, the amount of time you're in camp.
Padded.
Your camp, the pads in practice. We got rid of a preseason game, and that's why we see sloppy football, and we see a lot of this soft issue, tissue injuries, hamstrings, and things like that, because you're not really prepared to play week 1. Really, we don't see teams really hitting their full stride and ready to play until about week 3 or 4. Scott, what's your thoughts there?
I blame the coaches in this. They don't play their stars in the preseason. They do not play them. I mean, Joe Burrow was injured again for the second time in 2 years, and what happens?
The first time, the last year's not his fault. You can't do an appendix. That's on his. That's on his own.
Agreed. But for 2 years now, we've seen Joe Burrow be out for the preseason, not playing a preseason game or whatever, and he looks like junk on opening day. Okay. These guys are not playing the games. Coaches are saying, forget it. We're not playing you. You're sitting down. You need game repetition in the preseason. Obviously, look, Kenny Pickett, who played against backups for every team that he played against, looked phenomenal in the preseason. He comes out in game 1 against San Francisco's #1 defense and looks like junk and crap. So guess what? I blame the coaches for this. The coaches need to get their players in for at least 1 game and maybe a game in a drive or a game in a quarter. Just to play them, and they're not playing them, and we see the results in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. These stars and these players look like crap.
That's not necessarily, Scott. That's not necessarily true. Chiefs played almost every game. Their starters played a couple drives here and there. They were out there. I think you're going to see sloppy football regardless where you're at.
But I think at least the Chiefs played. At least they looked. At least they look pretty decent at times in the game.
Decent at times? You mean like the one time they got the ball?
Yes.
I think a lot has to do with you're not practicing as much. They're not practicing. You're not in pads as much. Everything's very limited. It's wild.
This is an awful Monday night game. There's 2 minutes left in the first half. This is an awful Monday night game, 10-3.
Oh, well, man.
I mean, the air of the place got taken out,
when Aaron Rodgers went down.
Aaron Rodgers went out. I mean, he comes out holding that American flag. I mean, the place is going absolutely ape shit. And, then we saw what happened.
Down goes Frazier.
I think week 1 last year was pretty bad too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was the Cowboys Bucks Monday Night Football. Tom
Yeah.
Brady beat the Dallas, and then Dallas retired Tom Brady at the end of the
Right.
year.
right, and I think speaking
And
of,
Dak
speaking
got
of
hurt, I
Dallas,
think, that game too.
yes,
he did.
Dak was out 6 weeks. Speaking of Dallas, I've seen it on Twitter all day long, and I've heard it all day long. Okay, their offense looked not so good after Tony Pollard's 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott threw for 150 friggin' yards last night. Okay, 150 friggin' yards. They played a team that had no quarterback. Daniel Jones is awful at quarterbacking. So Dallas
really
Cowboys, because you won 40-0, don't say on Twitter, and don't let me hear you say,
Oh, Jim.
the Cowboys are back. They're going to be the best team in the NFC this year. They're going to the Super Bowl. Play a good team first, then show me. You look crap. You look like crap on offense last night. So for Flo and for Allen and for all these Dallas Cowboys fans, don't get on here and say we won 40-0. We're the best team in the NFC. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I don't want to hear any more about how the Dallas Cowboys looked phenomenal last night, because they did not. Their defense looked phenomenal. Their offense looked like a crap show last night. So
Woo!
let me see you play somebody first, and then we can have a discussion about how your team looked.
Well, speaking of discussion, we're going to bring in our every Monday night guest. This guy was at the final of the U.S. Open. It's probably about the only excitement New York's had now in the last 24 hours, because you just mentioned it, Scott. The Giants get the beat down. The Jets, and then the Jets fans are thinking, yeah, all right. The Giants got the beat down. We're here to save the city. I haven't seen 2 teams crash like this since, Two Towers 23 years ago today, or whatever that was. Sad joke, but it's all true. The Giants get their ass kicked. Jets are deflated. Live from New York, give it up for Jim Biringer.
Jim.
What's up, Jim?
What's up?
Jim.
Repping Carlstadt
Jim,
Police
Jim,
Department
Jim.
tonight here on 9/11. So, just terrible what happened 22 years ago. I just want to say, it's just from where I was, where my house is, we had to smoke for a lot of days. You could see it from where I lived, and just a tragic day. But, we remember everybody's lives that were lost that day. Great moment to start the game. And if you guys haven't seen the image after the rainstorm today, from the Empire State Building to where the new trade tower is, a big rainbow here on 9/11 after the big rainstorm. So that was kind of cool. Great moment to start the game for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. The rest, all downhill. The Jets had the New York sack. The New York Jets had the New York sack exchange. That's what it's been like for both the Jets and the Giants the last 2 nights.
The state of New York football right now is got to be in real bad shape. Your Giants took it absolutely on the shins last night. I know, somebody, I think it was Scott, somebody in the group chat that it was like, Jim can't defend the Giants. I said, Jim's smart. I said, we say that once the Giants were down 2 scores, you can shut the damn game off because they weren't coming back.
Off. Game was over. Game was over before it started. And I was listening to what you guys were saying about preseason and guys needing to practice. Look, I know guys want some time off. Look, but this is why there's so much sloppy play. Guys got to get in the preseason. I know we're worried about injuries and all this stuff. Injuries can happen anytime. Rodgers played 1 snap in the preseason, and look what happened in a real game. Injuries happen anytime. Look, injuries happen in training camp. We see it in hockey all the time, but those guys are on the ice working your craft, and you got to be able to work your craft consistently, and you got to get in real games. Practice doesn't matter. Preseason doesn't matter. Play the game. And look, I can't defend the Giants. Heck, I didn't even watch the game last night because I already knew it was over. I was on the train coming back from the U.S. Open, talking football with the guys. There was a Dolphins fan. There was a couple other guys. He had the game on. It was 26-0. I'm like, it's over, baby. It's over. And we were just watching the game before we left. Guys were getting sacked left and right. Daniel Jones is god-awful. sucks. Shouldn't have got paid $67 million.
So bad. So bad.
So bad. Again, you guys know I've been on it since day one. If you guys have followed me on Twitter, listened to wherever I've been, Daniel Jones never agreed with the pick. Should have been later. Isn't a starting quarterback. Didn't play well at Duke. The same problems that are happening all the time with the Giants with the offensive line. But I was on Alan's show Wednesday. We said it here. Dallas has the best defense along with San Francisco in the NFC. And I saw a meme. Somebody put something out. Aaron Rodgers knew that the Dallas Cowboys defense was coming next week, so he's just like, yeah, I'm tapping out these 2 weeks.
He's already got memes in.
Yeah.
He's playing chess.
Internet works quick.
I seen some memes. It was the old Rocky where it's Daniel Jones laying where he's Apollo Creed. It's Daniel Jones. He's like, throw in the towel. Look,
Robert Saleh's face tonight said it all. That was the kiss. His kisser said it all when Rodgers went down. I mean, look, I think it's probably definitely Achilles, no doubt. I don't know if they did MRIs. I know that
they done X-rays. X-rays are negative. So
but the MRI could tell you.
But not the MRI yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MRI is probably coming, and if he's in a walking boot, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. I just think that they put all their stock into Aaron Rodgers. And
that offensive line is awful.
Yeah, that offensive line's terrible. Zach Wilson's on his run every play, on the run of his life every play. He can't get free to throw the pass. So
no,
they're going to have some problems if Rodgers is done for the year.
Oh my God, this team is not good.
It's over.
Oh, 100%, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, it's done. Donezo.
Yeah.
I mean, look what Miami did yesterday. Look what Buffalo's doing tonight. I mean, look, it's sloppy, but I mean, look. You mentioned Dak threw 156 yards last night. He didn't need to do that much last night when it was 26-0 and the defense defense was doing what they were doing. He didn't need to do anything last night, to be honest. Like, look, the Giants O-line has been a problem. Look, Evan Neal just got eaten alive last night by Michael Parsons. Like, the whole night, he just got eaten alive. But Dan Quinn moving him around. Look, I heard a comparison this morning. Look, no one's ever going to be Lawrence Taylor, but Michael Parsons got that mindset of LT, man. This guy wants to be the best defensive player in the league right now.
I picked defensive player of the year. Remember that, folks. Remember that.
Dude, I mean, what? I think if memory serves me correct, did Lawrence Taylor win MVP one time?
He did.
Yes.
I don't know if Michael Parsons can keep up that pace, he might be in a conversation.
It's a different game now.
I know it is. It's a quarterback award.
Yeah. They don't even give it to the best player. It's just whoever the best they think the best quarterback is.
Yeah, it's the best quarterback award. That's really what it is.
Jim, I want to switch to some college football real quick. The big upset of the week: Texas goes into Tuscaloosa, and they absolutely kicked the shit out of Alabama. Their quarterback was running for his life almost just like you mentioned about Zach Wilson running for his life, their quarterback was running for his life almost every snap. It felt like every time there was a big play, Texas was there. They were sacking them. They were hitting them. Ewers was putting that ball on a rope at times. Is it hook 'em horns is back, or is the Alabama era over?
I want to pump the brakes on if Texas is back. I want Texas to be in the Final Four before I say Texas is back. Like what Miami did to Texas A&M, as if guys saw the recap video. Pump the brakes on teams being back. Look,
the U might be back.
I mean, the U might be back. We'll see. If they can keep running the table and doing some things, you got Florida State coming up. You got North Carolina. You win, fine. Then more power to you. But you got to win those games. And like Texas, you went in. Alabama, look, this is a different era for Nick Saban. Offensive line's not that great. They don't have a lot of weapons. They're losing a lot of five-star recruits to LSU, Georgia, the NIL, going out west, USC. You're losing a lot of five-star recruits. It's not the same Alabama team. I never what am I looking for? Count out Nick Saban. But the problem is coming out of the West. I mean, whoever comes out of the West is going to play a good Georgia team. But, again, Look what Texas did. Sark was ready. They were prepared. They were ready to go, ready to rock. They took care of business. Every big play that they had, they were there. Look, you thought Alabama turned the game in the third quarter, right? Look, they hit the big play, get the touchdown, but the defense couldn't stop anybody. They always give up the big play. Every turn, Texas had an answer, and good on them. I will say this. Another upset of the night. I called it. Washington State beating Wisconsin in Washington State. That's always a tough place to play. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Teams that go in there, they think they're going to win. It's a very tough building to play in. Good on Washington State to get it done. Do it for Mike Leake, the Cougars, big win. But, yeah, I mean, look, you get punched in the mouth, you're going to see what happens now. And, look, the SEC might be down. Look, Texas has a chance to win the Big 12. Yep. I still say Kansas State's there. Kansas is playing well. Oklahoma's still there. They have to run the table.
No.
I mean, they got a nice win. Illinois is a good team. I mean, that's a nice win.
They barely beat Illinois. Don't even
barely beat Illinois. You don't even see the game, Nick. You don't even know what the score was.
I don't know what the score was. I saw the highlight at the end where they secured an interception.
You think it's like 11-9. The score was like 40 to like 20, all right? That's for real. There was a big difference in teams.
For the record, SEC country, like down here, I have never seen Nick Saban that calm on the sideline when shit was going wrong. I've never seen it. He looked
because he knows his team's not that good.
Defeated. Yeah, that's what he does. But even when they like last year, there was fire. You know what I mean? There's nothing there now. There's nothing.
Because I wonder if this team is not the same team. Oh, all the coaches hate it. All the coaches hate the NIL.
Every last one
hate it. Every last one of them hates it.
That's all I heard on the radio today about was just every SEC coach hates it. And like Nick Saban has already bought this big house. He just bought this big house in Florida or whatnot. I'm like, then the questions start circling. He's got 1 foot out the door and all this stuff. But yeah, but his press conference and everything, I got to say, from watching Saban a lot, he's just deadpan. I mean, just no emotion, no nothing.
I don't think Saban's 1 foot out the door. I think he's going to make one more national championship run. But I think the landscape of college football has changed immensely because and that's the thing. And Saban's not getting the prime choice number 1 guys anymore in recruiting. They're going elsewhere.
Two things.
Colorado.
Two things are changing it. The NIL and then the transfer portal. Guys are coming to Alabama. They no longer want to sit and wait their 3 years where they're sitting behind other 5-star recruits. I'll transfer the hell out of here, and I'm going to go play for Ole Miss, or I'm going to go here. Those things are happening. Dabo Swinney refuses to enter the transfer portal, and we're seeing where Clemson. That's why the decline in Clemson has happened at an increasingly fast rate. They had a great run, and then the transfer portal has changed that, where they got guys transferring out, but they're not retransferring people in, and because he won't go that route. Well, Dabo, if you're going to want to continue to win in Clemson, that's probably the route you're going to go. I do want to ask y'all. Tanner, you said Colorado had to go in and smoke Nebraska. It was close for about a half, and then the second half they turned it on. Did Colorado do enough to you to show you, we're the real motherfucking deal?
Yeah, I think these guys came in and they did exactly what I was expecting. Go in there, get your presence set, and it took a little bit, like you said, but it was needed. This was the way it was needed to be done, was to show yourself that you can go out and beat a Nebraska team that you haven't won, since 2004? I think it was, or something dumb.
Yeah, they haven't beat them. They haven't beat them since the last time they were in the Big 12.
2004 then, yeah. So but like you got to be able to do this stuff, and they sold out their home crowd. I don't know if you saw that. The images from like last year to this year for the first game.
Oh, it's a complete difference. Oh my God, it's night and day.
Cool. Look, if you can have a college football atmosphere there in Colorado, it's going to be a scary team. They can get the energy. They gain the energy off the crowd. They also gain the energy from their opponents. This is a scary team. I don't think they make the playoffs by any means, but I believe they make it competitive in every single game they play. And I guarantee you they're going to be there till the end, going up there. Deion's got this crew rolling.
Look, Colorado, very impressive. They got hit in the face. Their defense has to play a lot better, though, because, look, there'll be 3. It's a great story. Don't get me wrong. It's a great story for college football. Colorado, before they go back to the Big 12, they're making the Pac-12 competitive. And, oh, by the way, Pac-12's got 8 teams in the top 25 poll this week, 2 in the top 10. Colorado's up to 18 now, and they're 13-1 in 2 weeks. Yeah.
So guys,
they're
going out with a bang. They're going out with a bang.
The Pac-10 for Pac-12 for what? Nothing. Look, Washington State. The coach is like, yeah, we deserve to be in a Power 5. Absolutely, they do. Look, for me, Colorado, they did what they had to do. They get punched in the mouth. They saw a good defense. Nebraska's, they're not great, but their defense is good. Keeps them in games. Sanders, Hunter, they got things going in the second half. They should kill Colorado State next week. It's on ESPN, the prime time. They're must-watch every week, Dion. Here's the schedule. Oregon at Eugene, then home to USC. That's the statement for me. Yes. You win those games, sky's the limit in the Pac-12. You got Utah coming up after that. You got tough Washington State. They got to go to Washington State again. That could be one of those games where if Colorado's not prepared, Washington State could give it to you. You got to go to Utah. Maybe Cam Rising's back by then. They're going to see physical teams, bigger teams than they are down the stretch. Colorado, to me, is definitely going to get a bowl game. I don't know. Is it a New Year's 6? Not sure. They'll definitely go to a bowl game. I think they can win 6 or 7 games. But that's going to be a great turnaround for this team and what Dion's doing. He's an excellent coach. He is who he is, and that's about what I got to say about Colorado.
So just to break in, Schefter was just on ESPN halftime. He said he talked to 3 doctors. The reverberation of the calf in the back makes them believe that it's an Achilles injury and he could be done for the year.
Wow.
So you guys know. He's not sure and he doesn't want to solidify it, but he just said he talked to 3 doctors and they saw the reverberation of the calf in the back, and that most likely is an Achilles injury.
Yeah, so Schultz from Schultz Report is tweeting out the same thing. Jets fear that Aaron Rodgers is dealing with an Achilles injury.
Oh my God!
What a heartbreak! What a heartbreak!
First play of the offensive season, and you lose your guy.
He played 4 snaps. 4 snaps.
Yeah, 4 snaps.
4 snaps. That's unbelievable.
And you could lose your star quarterback for the year. So obviously there goes any chance you have of making the playoffs if he's done.
This is horrid. Absolutely horrid.
Yep. So week 1 just got a lot more worse.
Hug a Jets fan.
Are the Jets the most cursed team, Jim? That's your city. I know you're a Giants fan, but you live in the city. They're the most cursed goddamn team in football, in all sports.
They gotta be. They gotta be the most cursed team in all of sports easily. I mean, you think about it, the hype with Rodgers, the everything around it, and the fact that this dude takes 4 plays and has an Achilles injury, what they gave up, how much they're paying him. I mean, I took a pay cut.
Ooh,
but this is the point. But this is the point everybody's been making the whole summer through Hard Knocks, through everything. The offensive line for the Jets has been an issue. The protection, they got to be able to protect Rodgers. And he was running for his life too.
I agree too. Yeah. Should he devastate anything for the Jets or Rodgers? It is. It's awful.
Because now the guy is what? He's 38 right now. If in fact he does have a torn Achilles and has to go in for surgery and have it repaired, he's 39 years old coming off a torn Achilles. That's not a good thing for the rest. Of his career. He could be. I'm not going to say
he could be done. He could be done.
But he could very well be done.
He might say screw it.
I don't.
Yeah.
As an Aaron Rodgers guy, I obviously followed this guy's career. The whole way here as a Packers fan and watching interviews and everything. So I don't know, but I would say I don't think he's done. The fact that he's not, we're ultra competitors like Aaron don't go out that way. He's not going to let an injury dictate how he goes out. He'll sit out this year. Obviously, if it is the Achilles and he's out for the year, he'll come back next year and say that, hey, we were supposed to win this motherfucker last year. We're going to try to win it this year. I think I 1,001% believe that he would come back, even at 39 with the Achilles. I mean, Kobe Bryant did it. And basketball,
he better get Tim Grover on his staff, because that's the only way that's going to happen. You're going to need that mentality to do it, to come back. I mean, Kobe put up what? How many points with a torn Achilles in a game? That's the different mentality, man. That's just look. Ian Rappaport telling Westwood won at halftime does not sense a lot of optimism about Rodgers' injury.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
It's
so.
Hey Tanner,
it very well could be. It could be pretty much over.
Hey Nick, here's the other take. In the fantasy game, Garrett Wilson stock.
Big time.
That's all I'm yelling about right now.
You know what though? See how many yards he put up last year with Zach Wilson?
Nothing.
I mean, he was rookie of the year, but
it was Mike White. Without Mike White, Wilson wouldn't have been a thing. Wilson kept missing Wilson on passes. I'm going to go a couple hundred, if at best, at most.
In a lot of fantasy leagues, I have a lot of stock in Garrett Wilson because I thought he was going to be the new.
I do 2 years in a row, and now I'm stuck with Zach Wilson throwing the damn ball to him, who can't get it to him.
Don't forget, Garrett Wilson's best game of the year was with Joe Flacco playing quarterback for him in Cleveland. So, this is awful on all levels for a lot of people.
It's so bad.
Oh my God, it's so so
and
so
for Rappaport and Schefter to be reporting this stuff, you know that's what it is.
I just got a couple of texts from some people I know. It's not looking good.
It's not good.
It's not looking good.
Oh,
a couple guys I train with that know this stuff. They said that's an Achilles. He said that he's done for the year. Couple guys I know. Again, it's reported. It's just reports. Guys know who've played around the league, know what injuries look like. They just were like.
Well, the two guys everybody was on this year. They thought J.K. Dobbins would have a revitalization. He tore his Achilles yesterday.
All right, wait. You asked me. Wait. Somebody asked me before. Jets cursed. I don't know. Ravens are up there too with the injury.
Nah, the Ravens got Super Bowls and things like that. The Jets haven't won. Joe Namath sold the Jets' soul to win Super Bowl III to the devil, and they've been cursed since, right?
With the guarantee that he's going to beat Johnny Unitas.
Yeah. Since then, the Jets haven't even been to the sniff to Super Bowl. Well, I mean, they've been to a couple AFC Championship games. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years, and if no Aaron Rodgers, that's just going to add to
it. That's 14
1
years, and they're going to finish. They might finish behind the Patriots in the division.
I think so. I mean, that last year they were
that way. Looks that way.
Scott, is that an accurate statement that I made? That if Rodgers is done for the year, that they're finished behind the Patriots?
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah,
very much so.
Yep.
We're gonna see a rerun of what happened last year for the New York Jets. Exactly the same thing. Just now, full-time Zach Wilson's in play, and it's going to be worse actually than last year. So this is not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty.
I don't watch Get Up in the morning at all because I just hate the show. I despise it.
Where's Greeny? Where's Greeny?
I will tune in for the first 10 minutes tomorrow morning just to see Greeny, who is obviously an avid Jets fan. I saw it. Pat McAfee had retweeted out a picture of Greeny. He was all hyped up before the game and had his jersey on and was excited.
What's he like right now? What's he like right now?
I mean, the ESPN coverage was all Aaron Rodgers. All of it in pregame.
All of it?
I mean, all of it.
Rich Eisen, same thing.
Because, and the other thing is, Tanner, is there any chance we get 5-minute Ed on the program next week? I'll talk to him.
Every Jet fan is on suicide watch right now. Fireman Ed,
how's Rich Eisen in Italy, Jet? We got to check in with those guys later.
Yeah, Italy.
Oh, yeah.
Make the
Dan
call
Harris
out
too.
to
Send
Italy
a shout
Jet.
out to Dan Harris.
Dan, shout out to Dan Harris.
Dan,
Oh man.
Dan Harris.
Oh man. Dude, man, look, bros. I mean, like
Mm.
this is a worst
This
possible
is so
start.
bad.
And this is my take, right? So the Jets and Giants have combined for 3 points, and they've had 1 million sacks against. Like legit, like I'm not even making that number up. It feels like 1 million sacks. Both quarterbacks running for lives. Look, the MO. What did we say last year before this became the Let's Talk Sports show? I came on and said it. Giants got to figure out a way to pass the ball. Can't always run. Why? Teams are going to figure that out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Figure it out. You got to throw the ball somewhere because
Hey, Jim.
and you got to get protection.
Hey, Jim, here's a question. Would the Jets take Daniel Jones right now?
Yes,
No.
absolutely.
Zach Wilson?
It's made out of Rich Eisen's hair that he doesn't have.
Yeah,
Hey, let me ask you guys this. And too bad the trade has been made, but this was a name popped out. Same draft class. One Mr. Trey Lance. I know he is now with the Cowboys, but
Trey Lance.
Yeah. I think the Jets would trade for him in a heartbeat. If
I
they
think
could right now.
I think the Jets would have traded for Trey Lance. The Giants with the Giants backup was what, Tyrod Taylor?
I thought Tyrod wouldn't be too bad for the
Tyrod's
Jets.
I would take
Giants.
Tyrod.
I would take
it's
Tyrod
not.
over.
I would
Smith.
put if Daniel Jones has
Over-
another performance like that, Tyrod Taylor has to see the field. I'm sorry, he has to see the field.
Yep.
I
agree.
Tyrod.
Okay. But Jim, how much do we take into account for just week one being week one? Granted, you went against a really good defense, fresh off the gate. But do we think
Yeah,
the
but-
Giants team has to bouncing back though?
They
Did they
better
just
be.
sign
They,
Tyrod?
I don't
Tyrod's
know.
with
I
the
mean,
Giants.
Yeah,
isn't
Tyrod.
he? Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying with Daniel
Oh, okay.
Jones, I'm saying
Okay.
if
Yeah.
I think, look, yes, it's week one. Yes, there's a little bit of overreaction, but still, that offensive line is not good. Yes, they're owning it. They're saying the right things, but they got to figure out a way to get Daniel Jones the ball out of his hand quicker. And look,
Yep.
do I agree with some analysts? Yeah, that they go away what worked against the Cowboys in Thanksgiving. Yeah, but you know what? The Cowboys had film on that Thanksgiving game, and
Yeah.
the highlights I saw, there were 7, 8 guys in a box for Saquon. Like, you got to figure out a way to score, throw the ball. Defensively, they were awful. I mean, look, I said it on the NFC East show I did last week. Some no names are going to come out of nowhere for the Dallas. Again, the defense just showed like the Giants just were flat out bad, but still, that you need a better performance than 40-0.
By the way, Mike Buffoon's Mike that was on with me Wednesday nights just tweeted out, "Go save the Jets at Tom Brady. Go save the Jets at Tom Brady."
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey, if he
Get it
wasn't part of it,
rolling.
what-
Speculation
what should-
started.
is it gonna be if
sure. Let's
Rodgers-
injure another legend.
There we go. There's the Garrett Wilson catch. Wilson to Wilson. Is it gonna be? Are they going with Zach Wilson? Like Zach Wilson the rest of the year?
Yeah.
They have to.
Zach Wilson
They
was your
have
guy.
to.
They don't
Yeah,
have a
that's it.
quarterback on their depth chart after Zach Wilson. I just
Or
looked
do
at
you
him.
make a
money
trade
tied
for a
up, though.
veteran quarterback or
Who are you
somebody?
gonna
Like
go
who's
after?
Yeah,
Carson
who you
Wentz?
going after?
You're gonna bring Carson Wentz into this situation?
Yeah,
No,
You're just
he's
gonna
the
sit
thing.
there?
That
He's
offense,
the-
no
That's what
quarterback's
you're
going to
getting.
want to play behind that line.
You're gonna go
Here's-
Shane
here's the-
Buechele? You're gonna go sign somebody like that?
I don't know. I don't know if you can trade for somebody. Is there a veteran that you could trade
who
for?
are you trading for, Nick? Who are you trading for
I
that
don't
has
know.
value?
That's why I'm
to
asking the
you?
question. That's
There
why I'm
is no
asking.
guy to freaking trade for
Yeah, but
in this league right now that would be a quality starter.
here's
Not
the
to
deal.
The money
If you
tied
What about
up.
your guy Minshew Mania? Did the Colts
No,
say,
no,
"Hey,
no,
well,
no, the Colts not trading him.
No.
You already saw
No, not
Richardson
with
get hurt
Richardson.
first game.
If you,
It's over.
that's
If
true.
you
That's true."
bench
Richardson
Zach
did-
Wilson, his career is done. If you bench him for somebody you just traded for a week ago, his career is done with the Jets. He will never play another snap for
Yeah.
them again.
I'm not saying they're gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna.
The only good thing about this game is Brees Hall right now. And that was
He's
a
balling out. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
He looks healthy
Yeah,
again.
that's all he can get the ball to,
Put
Jim.
a cape
That's
on
what
him.
I'm
That's your
saying.
best
He's
shot.
not getting to Wilson or Conklin or anybody else on the
Here's
roster.
a
Brees Hall
here's
and
a-
Cook all day.
here's a name. Colt McCoy, free agent.
No.
Why not pick him?
no
I'd
way.
take Colt McCoy. I'd take
Colt
Colt
McCoy's
McCoy over Zach Wilson.
I would look at their
He
practice
did with
squad.
crap down in Arizona. I'd do it.
Yeah.
Well, I would look at their
I would-
practice squad to see who's on there. If there's a quarterback
Yeah.
on there, that's the guy that's going to back up Zach. Zach Wilson just starting.
I would take a stab at Colt McCoy.
Yeah, I would. I'm in for Colt McCoy.
I would. I like.
And here's
better than Wilson.
here's a scenario for you guys. Let's just say hypothetically, Rodgers retires. He's done. Achilles done. Says, "Hey, I'm fucking 40 years old. I'm gonna hang it up." Kyler Murray. Do you guys, if you're the Jets, do you call Arizona and say, "Give us Kyler"?
No chance, dude.
No chance. You don't have the draft capital anymore. You traded
And
it
you
to the
still have
Packers
Aaron
for
Rodgers
Aaron
signed.
Rodgers.
You don't know what's going to happen yet. Why would you bring Kyler Murray if you don't know what Aaron Rodgers is yet? That's
Yeah,
I'm saying
exactly.
if Rodgers retires.
If he
I'm
retires,
talking about the offseason. Not right now, but in the
I mean,
offseason.
you might have the last pick in the draft, or you might have the first pick in the draft this year with Wilson starts you 17 games. So
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If the Jets have a high
Arizona will
draft
be
pick,
worse. Arizona will be worse. They'll have a high draft.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hold on, did they trade their first rounder to Green Bay to get Rodgers?
It was a second rounder, and depending on how much he actually played, which obviously is not going to happen now, it becomes a second rounder. Because if he played X amount of games, which you're like, he'll play those X amount of games, he'll be a first rounder. No, nobody thought in the fourth snap of the damn season he would tear his Achilles, and now we just get a second rounder.
Well, here's what I'll
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
They did not trade a first
oh man,
rounder for
Robert
Rodgers.
Sala's face says it all, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's great.
They
It
did not
does.
trade a first
It
rounder
does.
for Rodgers. They ain't
It's
trading a first rounder to
just
get
I'm
Kyler.
dead inside. That's all it is. I'm just dead.
He's
inside.
like, we are so effed. Like,
yeah. Oh,
Yes,
we're
and
boned.
that's
We're
true.
boned.
Susie can do to get to me. But no, you're not bringing Kyler and you're not trading for a star quarterback. They're gonna
Not
have
right
to go
now.
with Zach Wilson, Colt McCoy, and if Rodgers retires for some reason,
Figure it out.
totally screwed. They'll have to
Think
figure it out.
think all the stuff they did to make cap room for it. I mean,
I know
my
that.
God.
I know.
Gave back the $30 million. The sad thing is Aaron did everything right. Like
He did.
gave back money. He was in camp since May.
Took his teammates out to the Rangers and the
Yeah, he
Knicks
did everything
games.
right. Everything that everybody said he never did in Green Bay, he was doing in New York. And then this happens on the fourth snap of the season.
because he's got no offensive line.
So basically, what the Jets' game plan to do is Brees Hall 25 plays, Dalvin Cook 20 plays, and then throw it to Garrett Wilson another 15.
You can't even throw it to Garrett Wilson, Scott. You can't. You can try. You can attempt. You can target, but you're not going to get it to him.
I don't think Garrett Wilson will have that upper echelon season, but I think he'll be in that second or
He
third.
got 12. If he gets
Scott,
1,000 yards
Scott,
receiving, it's
Scott,
okay.
We're talking like we went from like 1,200 to like
to
500.
750. Yeah, it's
500.
500.
Well, he got
500.
1,000 last year. He got
500.
1,000 as a rookie.
Yeah,
Agreed.
because Mike White. I keep explaining to you guys, Zach
Yeah, it's Mike
Wilson
White.
wasn't
It's not-
throwing
wasn't
him
that
the
good.
ball when he
Hot
got
Mike,
it.
Mike White.
Joe Flacco and Mike White were the ones getting him the yards. As soon as Zach Wilson came in, it was over. I had Garrett Wilson all last year for fantasy, and when Zach Wilson was in, I got like 2 points with Garrett Wilson. When Joe Flacco or Mike White came in, we were at least in the double digits each time. This is how I legitimately, as a Garrett Wilson owner in probably 6 of my leagues, I am legitimately worried that I might have to bench Garrett Wilson because Zach Wilson is going to be captain the quarterback.
And
I
you
might
can't
put
even trade
Zach
him.
Wilson on the trade block.
You can't even trade
No,
him
he's
either.
not.
You can't trade
He's
Garrett
not
Wilson.
trading him. Yeah, well, you're not going to get any value for him.
No.
That he's worth, so you're done.
Tufel says Rivers. Rivers is out having his 15,000th kid.
Yeah, Rivers ain't coming back.
Jim,
Jim,
before
don't
we get
listen
shot
to
here,
talk
I
radio
do
tomorrow.
want to get your experience on the U.S. Open as Djokovic won
Wait,
yesterday.
Scott, what did you say?
I said, don't listen to talk radio tomorrow. It's going to be a complete calls of sorrow and crying and everything else. In New York.
Today was great. They just blasted the Giants, but
Hey,
everybody
I feel that. I
everybody was
second
humble
that.
because it was 9/11, so they couldn't go too bad.
Yeah, they could.
Right.
But this tomorrow will be bad.
No, tomorrow.
Jim, can you talk to us a little bit about your U.S. Open experience before you get out of here?
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Went to U.S. Open Men's Final Championship Sunday. Called it a bucket list item that you always want to go to Championship Sunday. and it was awesome just to be there under the roof, watch greatness. Novak Djokovic win his 24th Grand Slam title to tie Margaret Court for the all-time record with the shirt for Kobe, the Mamba Forever. That was awesome to see. The match was actually really good considering with straight sets. Victory went like 3.5 hours. The Medvedev put up a good fight, but again, you watch the match. He's so far back. The serve and volley that's his Achilles heel. You had to adjust. He didn't really adjust. Novak took advantage of it, especially on the big points. He broke him early in the first set. It's pretty much steamroll. But again, Daniil put up a fight. If he wins that second set, I'm sorry, then there's something there. But the crowd, I mean, you think about it, right? You watch it on television. You don't realize how quiet the crowd gets. And people just get on fans that make noise when guys are trying to serve. They just point them out. They just point them out left and right, and it's great. It was just awesome to be there in New York on a championship Sunday. I've been there during the first week, quarterfinals, semifinals, but to be there on a final, see the trophy lifted in person was really cool.
Jim, let me ask you something. What was it like on the U.S. Open?
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Ben Shelton.
Yes.
Ben Shelton. Do you think he's going to win a major in the next year or two?
No.
You don't think so? Where do you see his game going?
His game's going to go up. I think he'll one day be the number one American. But again, consistency for these guys, right? Like Tiafoe, he went back to a quarter. He probably should have been to a semi. But it's what do you do outside the majors? You can get to a semi. Look, he's been in a couple quarters this year. Went to Australia, did this. But again, he had a great beginning in Australia. His middle of the season was a lot up and down. Then he has a great U.S. Open. Let's see what he can do the rest of the way and put it together because he has a good weapon in lefty serve. Look, anything is possible, but if Novak's sticking around, Carlitos is there, Daniil Medvedev's at the top of his game, if Sinner starts consistency, there's a lot of, Fritz is still there as the number one American. Tiafoe is still there. There's guys at the top of the game still that can play with him, and he's got to mature a little bit in his game and adjust. It's not just about the big serve. And Djokovic, I mean, I knew he wasn't going to win that semifinal. I mean, I was like, dude, this is like, if you want to bet like $1,000 on Djokovic to win because he's going to win. Shelton had no chance. He had a great run. I mean, he beat Tiafoe and all that stuff. But again, he's got to now put it consistently through, not just in the majors. It's with all the Americans, too. You've got to play tournament to tournament and play better. That's what you have to do. And hopefully Shelton can do that. Look, the difference I'm seeing, you have a good coach, you relax, you understand that you can't always play with your A game, what we saw with Coco Gauff. She's having fun playing a BC game. That's what a guy like Brad Gilbert brings to the coaching box. If you're a perfectionist like Andre Agassi was, Gilbert was there, you got to have some fun, relax a little bit. It's not always playing at that high level. You have to, but if you can get there all the time, great. Great summer for her with the wins in Washington, Cincinnati, and U.S. Open. So, I mean, it was a great U.S. Open for the Americans on the women's side. Look, the American men, 3 quarterfinalists for the first time since 2005. Things are going in the right direction, but you got to build off it. You got to be consistent, and that's what makes the greats so good.
Hey, Jim, Djokovic, with his win, how great would it have been if he was able to participate in the last time or a couple of years ago in the U.S. Open, when he was told he couldn't participate because of the whole COVID, all that drama situation going on in play. Would we be seeing possibly a record breaking this year versus just a tie?
Oh, I think he would have passed 24 already if he was able to participate last year. And I think that was the big thing, like the crowd. That New York crowd is not liked Novak for a while. It comes and goes, but they were really behind him on Sunday. That was one thing I really noticed. Yes, there were some cheers from Medvedev. Everybody was cheering the points. And these players put on phenomenal points. And from the get-go, 16-shot rally on the opening point. So, I mean, you knew it was going to be a long day. But the crowd was into it. But they were behind Novak because they hadn't seen him in there. He hasn't been there in a year. Think about this. He was a couple of points away from maybe potentially completing the calendar Grand Slam at Wimbledon if things go his way. He would have done something Rod Laver would have done. So, look, I think the fact that he was not there last year, he's only had one loss on hard court. Granted, he didn't play in Montreal. In Toronto, or at the start of the hard court season in the North American with the Sunshine Double because of COVID. He'll be there next year. But the fact that he's at one hard court loss right now to the guy he beat in the final, I mean, look, those guys bring the best out in each other, and I think the crowd wanted to see 24 yesterday. It would have been cool, maybe 25. I think everybody really wanted to see Alcaraz, but again, they still got a good match, and we'll see. Maybe these guys meet again next year. You never know where Djokovic, where time takes you, because as we've seen with a lot of the greats, when Nadal's going to retire next year, when Federer, it hits. No matter how good you are, no matter what mentality you have, when it comes, it hits you in the face, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I know Nick probably forgot about my games here. I got 3 college games for you, and then we'll get your Thursday night prediction like we did last Monday. So
I was just getting to it, Tanner. I was getting to it. That was going to be my final out.
Yeah.
Well, you were saying like let's kick him out after the U.S. Open. That's what I heard. So.
Oh no, I just wanted to get it to you. I had that, and then the games.
Okay,
I don't like when Pod Mommy and Pod Daddy fight. It upsets me.
Hey, we did a show for over a year. We're gonna get back and forth at each other. It's all right.
Seriously, this is how this show became. Look, it's been a Maniac City since day one, since I've been on this show. And the Monday Night Maniacs has just become more of us now, right? This is what we do. Yep. So this is why I love coming on Monday nights.
Diva versus producer. Diva versus producer.
Go ahead,
until as old as time.
All right, let's get into it here. My first game I want to get your thoughts on here is an interesting game here. BYU, Arkansas coming at you Saturday. Both 2-0 in this game here. By the way, Big 12 versus SEC. Last year, these teams faced off. Last year in October, and Arkansas walloped them, basically walloped them 52-35. Are we seeing maybe a closer game? The spread's 9.5. The over/under is 51.5. What are you thinking here, Jim?
I like Arkansas at home here. BYU is still a good team, but again, Arkansas at home, they're always a good team. I always see teams like Alabama and LSU go into Arkansas and struggle. So I like Arkansas at home here, 2-0. I mean, BYU's played some decent teams, but again, I've really liked what Arkansas has done this year. Yeah, again, I mean, look, BYU beat up on Sam Houston and Southern Utah. I mean, now you're starting to play some games here. Arkansas, look, again, who they beat? Kent State, and they beat Western Carolina. I'm going to take Arkansas at home. Yeah, I'm going to take Arkansas at home.
I agree with that. I like Arkansas at home, and they're also walloping on the points too versus a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think they'll win by 9.5.
Definitely. Next. All right, so next up here, we got Northern Illinois at Nebraska, a 1-1 Northern Illinois with a big win against Boston College this past weekend against the 0-2 Nebraska.
What do you got to bring up old news for?
Hey, Scott, by the way, Boston College lost, which is very weird.
Wow.
But anyway,
we beat Holy Cross, by the way. We're 1-1.
Yes.
Tanner, we're mean to Nick. We're not mean to Scott. We're mean to Nick.
I forget sometimes. But, this was by the way, this was a matchup a few years ago in 2019 where Northern Illinois pulled out the victory on a plus 14 spread with that 8-44 route of them. Mm-hmm. So what are we thinking here? Nebraska, Matt Rule, are they going to come back with a little bit more fierce or, and come at them or what? This is by the way, a 10.5 favorite for Nebraska. The over/under is at 45.5.
All right, so Northern Illinois going into this one. Look, I think it'll be closer than the 10.5. I really do. Nebraska's got to get its game going here. Look, offensively, they started to show some signs last week. Again, what can that quarterback do, Sims? I mean, he was in trouble all day against Colorado. He didn't look great, but then he started to get it together. Nebraska should win this game at home, but it could be a lot closer than 10.5 points. But I'll give it to the home team. But I think Nebraska gets their first victory of the year here.
Hey, Tanner.
It'd be big. Yeah, Scott.
Tanner, I hate to disagree with the guest, but I'm taking Northern Illinois to win outright.
That's fine.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
I don't like
390.
I don't like the way Nebraska's looked this year. The first game they blew.
I mean,
Minnesota,
they're
they
just
should've-
not. I mean,
they're not
they
good.
it's the same problems for Nebraska it was last year. That if they have
Give
a
Matt
lead, they
Rule some
can't
time.
hold it.
Yeah,
but
I think they're
I think-
better than this year for sure.
I
Hey, you're
think
going to
I
get
think they'll
Biringer
find a way
bombed,
to get.
Scott. Biringer
I
bombed
think
you.
that I think they'll find a way to win it, but again, I think if I was betting this game, I'm betting Northern Illinois plus 10.5.
I like it. It'll be interesting there. My final game here to break down a little bit is Minnesota at North Carolina. Both 2-0 teams. North Carolina looked a little sloppy last weekend. Not as crisp as the first week here. They haven't really played any head-to-heads in a long time here. But what are we thinking here? Like Appalachian State gave this team a big competitive game here. So what are we thinking here with Minnesota coming into play? 7's the spread, 7.5. It's the spread for North Carolina on favor there. 50. I have the over and under at.
I'll 100% take the over on a 50 because North Carolina's defense is god awful, god awful, god awful. It is so bad. Think about this though. Here, as Mac Brown said, glad they're not playing Appalachian State anymore because Appalachian State gives North Carolina fits. Drake May did not have a great game last week. Look, PJ Fleck and Minnesota's defense is really good. Realistically,
there's your interception, Scott.
As much as I rail on North Carolina's defense, this potentially could go under. Though as much as I want to take the 50, I think I would go over to 50 just because Drake May's got to have a better game. But Taylor's a good running back for them on the Minnesota side, and they're always ready to play these big games. You saw it; they got up for Nebraska, they get up for Ohio State, they get up for these big games. This is a big test for North Carolina if they want to remain an ACC challenge. I know it's not a conference game, so it doesn't matter that much, but it matters because North Carolina dropped in the rankings this week in the poll because of that performance against Appalachian State. They need a statement win here. I'll take North Carolina, but I'm not confident because that defense is awful.
I agree. I think it's another high-scoring game, just because neither team can stop each other. So it'll be interesting on that one.
No,
Jim.
And I was looking at the poll. When is the last time Clemson wasn't in the top 25? They're out this week. They're not even in, and they won.
It had to be before Trevor Lawrence came, I would think.
Right. Yeah, before that run.
Before Deshaun Watson, probably. Since before Watson.
I think in Deshaun Watson's rookie freshman year at Clemson, I would say that's probably the last time.
Yeah.
The Tigers were last unranked during an 8-week stretch from October 2021 to November 2021. Before that, it was November 2014 for 107.
Yeah, right
weeks.
before Watson and right before all those guys showed up. Yeah. So look, Clemson's not. Look, I'm glad to see Iowa back in the top 25. They should have never been out.
Yeah, baby.
But good win by Iowa at Iowa State. That was a big win for them. That's a nice win for Iowa. I like what they did.
Score, but we're still playing 1920 football.
Hey, you know what? That wins in the Big 10. So look, rivalry game. It's going to be tough. Look, looking at the car. Looking realistically at the schedule this week. It's not
a whole lot of good games going on. There's not two ranked opponents playing each other.
Yeah, this week's schedule is not like I'm trying to find something to be excited about. There is.
That's what she said.
Jim, you might have to go to a mid-major game and find.
Yeah,
I think I might have to go to Maction or something this week. Like Maction this week might have to happen. Like there is
Maction Thursday.
There you go.
There's nothing on this schedule. There's nothing out. Maybe that real true game of the week is really maybe that Minnesota North Carolina game.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like,
Tennessee plays Florida, but Florida's not good.
They're trash.
And I'm just looking at this. I'm like, there is not one good game on this schedule. Yo, Texas better be ready. Wyoming's gonna come and ball. Watch out. I'm just saying.
This
coming
is
off
be
emotional win.
this is going to be a good week to bet college football. I think. I think there's just a lot of games that look like blowout city to me.
Well, Scott, it'll be nice to have a little bounce back after the Monday night losses we're gonna have. So
yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
This is a tough week for college football. Just not a lot of big games on the
Tanner, give them the Thursday night spread. It's
Thursday night.
You're open one,
guys. Thursday night is on Amazon Prime Video, so you make sure if you're gonna watch it, have Amazon Prime because it's back on in another year. It's awful. I hate it. All right, so your game for Thursday night.
As much as I love Kirk Herbstreit, but Amazon Prime sucks.
Yeah, I like Curb and Al Michaels in the booth, but
it's just I don't like it. All right, so our Thursday night game is Minnesota at Philadelphia. The current odds are seven points favoring in Philadelphia here. And then I can get the over under. I didn't get that yet, but what are we thinking here for the spreads here?
You're 0-1 against Jonathan, Jim. You're 0-1. Jonathan,
I know.
Week 1, you were.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Kansas City lost by 1 point, and if Kadarius Toney could catch a damn football, I'm 1-0.
Sky Moore,
along with
Matt Nagy.
Sky Moore, guys.
Yeah, I got a list, man. I got a
There's
list.
A list of guys. I got a list of guys that need to learn how to catch and learn how to have soft hands.
Hey Tanner, on yesterday's show, Bobby G said receipts. Do you have those same receipts for Kansas City receivers too?
And Matt Nagy. I got the receipts out. Andy Reid and Matt Nagy's on the list from Thursday night last week.
They're all on the list. It's Stone Cold's list, and I'm about to run through all of them. So, yes, I just quoted the King of the Ring speech. So, man, Philly's defense didn't look great against New England, but again, you have rookies back there. The Georgia defense, again, how many guys really played this year? Philly at home. All right, do I really buy Minnesota stock? But these home teams
is 0-2, baby.
I know the answer to this. Nick knows it too. It's Kirk Cousins at night, baby, in prime time. That's all you need to know.
You like
That's
that?
all you need to know.
Like that against
You like
Philadelphia?
that? You really like that?
What's the spread? It's Minnesota -7 or +7.
+7.5.
Philadelphia
-7.
-7.
Yeah, so
-7?
Vikings +7.
Yeah.
Man.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna bet the full game. I'm gonna go to the first half. I think Philly's gonna come out.
No, Scott. I know what you're doing.
I think Philly wins. I think Philly wins the game.
Oh, come on!
I think Philly wins the game.
Yeah.
Are we ready
So
to start now?
Are you taking the points or not?
No, I am taking Minnesota +7.
Okay.
But I think the Eagles win the
down.
game.
Jim's got Minnesota +7.
Got it.
All right,
But
Jim. Hey, we appreciate you. Oh,
Thanks,
go ahead.
Jim.
But I think the Eagles do win the game. But I think it is a touchdown.
Okay. I like it.
Within a touchdown. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, Jim. Jim's got Minnesota +7 on Thursday night. We'll get our picks at the end of the show. Jim, we appreciate you joining us every Monday on this sad Monday night after Aaron Rodgers looks like torn Achilles. We send our best wishes to everybody in New York going through tough times on their football teams. Outside of probably, Scott here because, he's a damn masshole. So we'll see you. We'll see you, Jim. We appreciate you.
He lives in New England, so they're on a different stratosphere. Upstate New York is different from the city. So, but guys, always a pleasure here on the Monday Night Maniac show here on Let's Talk Sports. Always a pleasure being on here. Always have fun here on a Monday night. And whose game is it? Everybody needs to know it. It's LA Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Let me talk to you.
guys, always a pleasure. It's been fun. It's always fun here. Close the day out. Talking football, talking hockey, talk whatever. We'll be back again next week. I'll see you guys next week. No doubt.
See you, Jim.
Jim. Take care.
Peace out, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to get us through this ad read before we bring on Jonathan. When our community wins with us, we want to ensure you've maximized your return on investment. Line shopping for the best odds matters, and that is why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books. Thankfully, there has never been a better time to get signed up, and we are here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide using our link, signupexpert.com/let's talk. You can get access to all the sportsbook in your region, along with a review of each platform and unique features. Most importantly, this page automatically connects you to the top promotions of each book, allowing you to start line shopping with the enhanced bankroll. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/let's talk. There is the link in the chat there in the description of this show to that website. And we also got our Discord. You can see it scrolling across the bottom there. So sign up for both of those. Get on our Discord. A lot of cool stuff happening. Ryan Larson gives out a lot of fantasy tips in our Discord. We talk a lot of shit in there. So Discord's been pretty active here the last few days and during football season. So, please check out our Discord and our website. Get signed up. Let's gamble. We're giving out Scott's giving out gambling advice every damn show, and he's giving out winners. So,
by the way,
you can't win if you don't bet.
By the way, Deshaun, Mostert, Godwin, Evans, Higbee, 3 or 4, baby. Yesterday's pregame. Fantasy guy right here, baby.
In
That's all you
Vegas
need.
too. In Vegas too.
In Vegas too.
And I put in the Deshaun Watson over rushing prop to bet on, and he went over that prop. So
Hey, by the way, I'm going to plug it real quick here. Wednesday night, 5:30. It's at 5:30.
5:30. Yep,
5:30 Eastern. 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Let's Talk Sports. Check out Let's Talk Bets with Matt Larson, myself, and Scott Cobe. We're going to be going over a handful of games in the college world, also the NFL. Plus, we'll do other stuff as sports begin to pick up again. But come check it out. We'll help you out there. We'll be able to get you guys some of that promo money that you're probably going to get by signing up.
I feel like we should have upbeat elevator music when Nick is reading that ad.
Like this.
Well, let's go ahead. We'll bring in on our next guest. Boys, we're in the final 3 weeks of baseball season here, approaching fastly.
Thank God, it's almost mercifully over.
His Saints have won beat Sam's Titans yesterday, so he's got to be happy about that.
Ugly game.
That's expected between two shithole teams. So, Anyway, give it up for one and only Jonathan Grishman, baby.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan, where are you?
Hi, Jonathan.
Here he is.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Jonathan, what's up, my guy?
How y'all doing?
Can I ask him the first question?
Go ahead.
So tonight's story is Aaron Rodgers' Achilles injury. How hard is it to come back from that injury, being you as a former player? And I know you probably haven't had it, but how difficult is it to go through that injury and to rehab it?
Yeah, thankfully, I've never had a serious leg injury in my career. I've had hamstring pulls, I've had high ankle sprains, had ACL sprain, thankfully not torn. So I can very much be blessed to say I never had a significant leg injury in my career. But Achilles, that's become more fearful than the ACL is in today as far as how guys bounce back from ACL injuries. The Achilles is just so hit or miss as far as how long it takes for someone to be back. And sometimes we hear stories that guys are never back to normal, after an Achilles. Again, we kind of saw this with Kobe Bryant when he tore his Achilles. He even said throughout the remaining time of his career, he was not the same player. Older guy too, most likely we see with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm sure that the questions are going to be spiraling around. Is this the end of Aaron Rodgers' career, being a 40-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles injury? That's got to be a realistic question to ask at this point. It's tough. Even young guys. We talk about young guys coming back from Achilles injuries. J.K. Dobbins, who just suffered an Achilles injury yesterday for the Ravens. That's going to be something they're going to ask: is how is he going to be the running back that we expected him to be. That he never.
I think Dobbins is done. Jonathan, the ACL 2 years ago didn't look good last year, all coming off the injury, and now the Achilles. I don't know if it was the same knee, but we're talking about running back.
But that's my point as far as a young athlete. I'm just throwing in there a young athlete is going to be very difficult to come back from that kind of injury. We're talking about a 40-year-old, quarterback. I get it, but if even a 40-year-old coming back from Achilles, that's oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine it. So it is like I said, it's the new death to your career type of injury that the ACL was for so long, and then modern technology caught up to where the ACL injury. Guys are coming back in 9 months, which it used to be 12 to 15 months. Now they're coming back in 9 months. The Achilles, though, that's a different animal. That's a different type of injury. And I couldn't imagine going through something like that, just because I know how I've heard stories from guys that I've known that have gone through stuff like that through Achilles injuries. The physical therapy and rehab of that is absolutely brutal. It is so difficult to come back from. So like I said, I'm thankfully, I still just say I thank that I never had a leg injury, let alone an Achilles. I couldn't imagine.
Didn't Dan Marino tear his Achilles all those years ago, late in his career? Wasn't that a torn Achilles?
I believe it was Achilles. Yes,
and that basically almost ended his career. Basically,
that just about it was towards the end of his career. If I remember, if I believe it was the Achilles, it was towards the end of his career, and that he was not the same player after that. Now, again, that was 20 years ago.
Achilles.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Again, technology has changed. The amount of knowledge of how to do the surgery has changed, I'm sure. But at the same time, the body is still the body no matter what. And I think that's just, it's just so difficult. That's just such an integral part of your body that to have to rehab and get back 100%. It's like I said, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's a bad night. It's a bad night in sports.
So let's talk about. I want to hear about your Saints, man. I want to hear about the Saints. What are we thinking? Didn't look too hot, but they kind of started clicking a little bit towards after the second half there. What are we thinking here?
You got to respect it. I mean, again, it's a good team. The Tennessee Titans are a good team. They're a good defense. Yeah. It was a defensive game. I mean, again, Saints defense.
They're not a good team. The Titans stink. They're not a good team.
One game, Nick. Shut the fuck up. One fucking game. One fucking game.
3 interceptions.
You need to.
You're
doing this on one fucking game.
You should have won by more than one
game. You're doing this on one game.
15.
You're absolutely ridiculous.
Let's not fucking pretend that the Saints went out and beat they're the 49ers or some team like that. The Titans stink, Sam.
Since
they
when does
absolutely
week one?
stink.
Hey, Tanner, how's your night going?
I'm done.
Tanner, you having a good night so far?
They stink.
All right,
3 interceptions, and you couldn't put up more than 16 points.
That's
both
a good
teams
defense. Hey, Tennessee's got a good defense, man. Defense. All right, that's a defensive game. I get it. Look, when was the last time Green Bay had a really good defense? It's been a long time. I get you don't understand what that looks like. All right.
Hey, well, we got one now.
You play Chicago.
I'm not sitting here beating the fucking drum saying we're the best team in the NFL either. I'm not saying we beat a good team,
but it's one game. It is a good team, though.
You're judging off of one game out of one bad performance. We are one game into the season. There is no reason for anyone.
Chiefs are the worst in the league
to write off.
Yeah, if I'm a Titan,
you can't write. Sam, you're lying to yourself. You can't write off. You can write off Arizona before they even stepped on the field.
There ain't no lying here. You're just crazy. I don't know if you're after views or whatever else.
What we're seeing, guys, is the similarities of the Dallas Cowboy fan base and the Green Bay Packers fan base. Because, again, you hype yourselves up just because
I'm not hyping myself up.
You hype yourself up. Oh, Jordan Love is the next great quarterback of Green Bay.
Didn't say that.
All right, but you're hyping yourself up because of one game. You're gonna come on after us. You're gonna come after us. Because we played a Tennessee Titans team who has
Are you going to say the same thing about the Bengals? Are you going to say the same thing about the Bengals?
They played like shit yesterday.
Yeah, so did we. Okay, That's
I'm saying there's a difference. The Titans aren't a good fucking team. They're not going to make the playoffs. You said so yourself, Sam. You have said so.
Yes, you're
first
right.
off,
Hold on, Nick. You don't get to shout down me, okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. I'm betting. I do not think they're going to have a good year. No, but I think what my problem is. Hold on. What I'm saying is, you are judging off of one game at the very beginning of the season, and I think that's bullshit. That's total bullshit. If you want to go if you want to go, stop. If you want to go 5 games in and we suck, I'm in total agreement with that. But you can't.
Sam,
just
we're talking about Nick here. He's
But-
judged 8 weeks ago. He already judged who sucks and who doesn't.
But
Yeah,
here's
I know. It's total. That's just total garbage. I'm sorry. You cannot judge off of one.
Hold on.
Have you not off of one?
I didn't say that the Titans were a good team. I said they were a good defense.
They're good defense.
They have a really good defense. And again, Jeffrey Simmons is a man in that center of the line.
Arden Key, Jeffrey Simmons,
And what you had was a defensive battle game. And it was expected in my eyes as a Saints fan, that was expected. We were going to have it was going to be a grinded out type of game. Which offense was going to make a play or two first? Whoever does wins the game. Well, the Saints made plays to win the ball game. But
they could have covered the spread, Jonathan. I only wanted them to cover the damn spread.
It doesn't matter.
I was the only one that cover the spread. The spread. Cover the spread. Kick a fucking field goal when you're down there at the end zone, will you?
You are
cover the spread.
Listen, I will say this.
Oh my God.
Tennessee only ran Derrick Henry 15 times yesterday. That's not going to happen going into the future. Derrick Henry's going to get over 20 carries every game. Okay, Tannehill showed yesterday that he cannot carry the offense. Derrick Henry needs to run the ball.
Scott.
Whether he stinks or not, it's a different story. Their game plan was run.
We have not. Don't give me one game. We've had enough. We've had 4 years now to watch with all our eyes. Some of us 4 eyes, like myself.
Jonathan will evaluate. Tanner will agree that. Listen, you don't need a top flight quarterback to be a good team. You need to have ancillary pieces around that quarterback to have a good team. Tennessee,
you have to have a good quarterback to win a fucking Super Bowl.
No, you don't.
I agree with that.
You don't.
Well, no, I wouldn't agree with that as much because you had Trent Dilfer,
Brad Johnson. 3 teams.
Four's the answer.
Yep.
Okay, 50 years, you guys. 50 plus years of fucking Super Bowls. There's been 4 teams that may have had mediocre fucking quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl.
You said they had to have a good quarterback, right?
Quarterback, they don't.
You don't have to. You don't.
You do.
You don't.
No,
look,
Joe
Burrow won't ever win a freaking Super Bowl, but he has great weapons. He's a good quarterback.
He could win one this year.
Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl last year.
You're arguing again. You're arguing,
Jonathan. Look what happened, Jonathan. Look what we did.
You're arguing for me.
Hey, all right. Let's get back to it. Jonathan's trying to give us a Saints wrap up, and Nick is trying to start shit with Sam. Let's chill for the Tennessee.
I was just saying they're not a good team. I was just rebutting.
I didn't say that they were a good team.
8 weeks ago.
I said they had a good defense. It was a defensive game. The team that made the plays, the team that
cover the spread. Jonathan, I just want him to cover the spread next time. Can we cover the fucking spread?
The spread right now.
You're a good team or not. You cover the spread.
You could have asked me. I could have told you don't bet on the Saints and Titans game. I could have told you don't bet on the Saints game. That was a horrible pick on your part to do that.
I took 3.5. It was 3.5. I thought the Saints were. I was believing in your Saints, Jonathan.
And we won the game.
I mean, Nick.
They did.
We're 1-0. I'm happy to
So what you're basically saying right now is if a team doesn't cover the spread, they're not very good.
That's the Bobcats way. That's the Bobcats way.
Good teams play bad some days and they don't cover anything.
So what I'm saying, hey, cover the fucking spread so I can win. That's what matters to me. The bottom line is what's best for Bodkins, baby. That's the bottom line. But The second thing is the Titans aren't a good team. That is going to be very true at the end of the year. Even their own super fan, Mr. First Down season ticket holder, has said himself they're not a good team.
I don't expect them to be a good team. No, but
Thank you.
Can't make that.
But
you cannot make that distinction. You cannot make that distinction off of one team, Nick. Okay,
So
you
Sam,
can't make
one
the distinction.
So guys,
You can't
here's what
make
we
the
can say to
distinction
Nick.
that your Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl.
I didn't say that.
One game.
So
I
here's
didn't
what we
say
can
that.
say.
Well, you can't.
Tanner,
You can't.
Sam,
It's
Jonathan,
vice versa. You can't say
and
it just because they
myself.
suck.
Will tell you the Bengals suck because they scored 3
They
points.
sucked
And then-
yesterday.
and then-
I
hey,
said that they
Yeah,
sucked.
but
yesterday.
you're saying that
Nick,
based on
so
what
you
you said,
suck. Yeah,
5
so
weeks
you
from
suck.
now, we'll let you know who sucks and who doesn't.
Right.
And I'll say I already knew. And my point is the fact is
That's fine.
I'll say I already
you
fucking
can
told you.
chant that all you want, but I think it's bullshit to come on here after week 1 and
Hey,
fucking say
Green
that.
Bay's
I think
going to win the
that's out of
Super
line.
Bowl, dude. Green Bay's going to win the Super
Sam,
Bowl.
that's what we
Yeah,
do.
according to that.
It's called overreaction for a reason.
Jordan
It's
Love's
time to
new.
Hey,
overreact.
Jordan
Don't
Jonathan.
give me that
Hey,
shit.
Jonathan,
Jordan
give me
Love's
that shit
new.
microphone. Hey, Jonathan, we're talking about the Saints. Olave. What do you think about Chris Olave? I think he's going to be a really, really
my
good
God.
receiver this year.
Olave is going to be he's the next young wide receiver superstar in the NFL.
Yes,
And
he
he
is.
I hope so. I got him on my fantasy team. I was impressed yesterday. Thank God.
And
One
he's
Saint finally did so.
and you talk about a route runner that just knows how to get open, and with his speed
job,
and
Nick.
agility to be able
Bottom line
to do
twice.
Olave is the next up and coming receiver that's going to be a superstar. There's some weapons on that Saints team. Again, that's the thing about it too.
I wouldn't have made that bet.
And that's something this team's going to continue to grow and get better. And they showed in the second half they made plays. And you still have Alvin Kamara coming back in week 4 after his 3-game suspension. This Saints team is going to hit their stride here soon. It's just
Don't
again.
forget Kendra Miller. Don't forget Kendra Miller being out like
Kendra
yesterday. I
Miller
heard
gets
too.
healthy. Absolutely. Kendra Miller gets healthy. That's another weapon to that offense from there. I mean, you have receivers, something that we haven't really talked about in New Orleans. Is we had some good receivers. Michael Thomas is actually pretty healthy. He looked pretty good last night. You have Olave, you have Rashid Shaheed, another speed receiver thrown in. So you have some weapons in New Orleans that it's in. Derek Carr's job is not to lose the game, and he did that yesterday. He did not lose the game for us. He managed it, made a play or two when it mattered, and the Saints were able to win the game. They let their defense make plays and got 3 interceptions and pressured Tannehill when they needed to. They slowed down Derrick Henry. I mean, that's what the Saints team is. The days of the high-powered offense of New Orleans, those days are done. We're not going to expect that anymore. But manage the game with Derek Carr, be a top 10 quarterback, and be a top 6 quarterback in the NFC. And just let your defense make plays for you, and let your playmakers on offense do their job. And if he does that, Derek Carr is going to lead the Saints team to a division crown in the NFC South.
Would you agree?
I think
the Saints are
John. Could I pick? Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Would you agree that the Saints will finish somewhere around averaging 21 points a game, somewhere in that area?
I could see around 21 to 24 points. 21, 24 points a game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think they can. Because the schedule is a favorable schedule this year. We don't travel to a cold place in the later part of the season. We have to go to Green Bay here in a few weeks. I'm fine playing Green Bay in September or even October because it's not cold. It's not going to be that bad. We go to Carolina. I think we're on the road in Carolina this week, so that's another cold place we don't have to play in. In December. So there's no cold games for us.
Jonathan, I got this team. I got the Saints finishing second behind the Falcons, and the only reason is because I believe in more Arthur Smith than I do Dennis Allen. I believe both teams are very talented. Both teams are young. I would give the edge at quarterback to the Saints, but I would give the coaching to the Falcons. Do you think Dennis Allen could cost this team? And if he does, could this be his final fucking year?
No, because he's in charge of the defense as the head coach. He's in charge of the defense, and we've seen this defense be a top 5 defense for the last 4 years. Even when he was a D coordinator with Sean Payton, this defense was still a top 5 defense, and it didn't change. It didn't drop off last year as him being a head coach. He's in charge. He knows he's in charge of the defense. Pete Carmichael, who actually showed a little bit better play calling, a little bit more consistency, and a little bit more creativity than what we saw last year. And I think that's in part because you have a quarterback that you can actually trust. We didn't have that last year with Andy Dalton. We didn't have that last year with Jameis Winston at times. You didn't have that with Taysom Hill. So you have a little bit. You have more with this year with Carr than what you did at the last year first. So I'm giving Carmichael the benefit of the doubt last year, and showing and with better weapons. Again, Shaheed is up and coming. He's getting better. Olave, young superstar. Thomas is healthy, and I'm continuing praying to the Who Dat Nation gods that he keep him healthy a little bit longer. But there's some, and Juwan Johnson is. We got big body tight ends and big body receivers. Those things. So you have a lot more on offense this year than what you did in the last 2 years. And really, the last 3 years. You can even go back for there in Drew Brees' last season. Dennis Allen knows he's in charge of the defense. I don't think he's going to screw this up because this defense is legit. They make plays. They're going to continue to get better stopping the run. And the linebacker core, DeMario Davis is the most underrated linebacker in the NFL. And I don't understand why nobody gives him his flowers for how good of a linebacker he is.
Cam Jordan, veteran presence, knows what to do along the line. Knocked down 2 or 3 balls, I believe it was, and he was a force to reckon with during that game.
And even Marshawn Lattimore shutting down, blanketing DeAndre Hopkins. Lattimore's probably again another one who should be getting consideration as the best cornerback in the league. Marshawn Lattimore does not get discussed as much as he should. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger from New Orleans, from St. Aug High School. He's playing lights out. He's comfortable back home. That was something the last year. It took him time to be comfortable playing in New Orleans. For so many years, he avoided coming home. Now he's comfortable being back, and he's playing lights out as well. This defense is good. They are really good, and it's going to continue to get better as the season goes.
But here's the thing with the Falcons, where I'm is of great concern. Kyle Pitts, 2 catches yesterday. Drake London, 0 catches. 0 catches yesterday in the game. That's a huge problem for the Falcons. If they cannot get those guys on track.
But Scott, you got to know going in Atlanta. If Arthur Smith never had to throw the damn football, he would never throw the football.
Well, how do you win?
It's going to kill him in games. You don't win those games.
I just eventually he didn't have to throw the ball yesterday to beat the shitty Carolina Panthers.
Okay,
but your two alpha male receivers have 2.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But you got to know what they want. What Atlanta wants to do is we're going to run the death out of Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson. If we don't have to throw the football and put it in Desmond Ritter's hands, by God, we're not going to. And they didn't have to yesterday. Now, where they're going to get in some trouble and where they're going to start losing some games is if they get behind and they have to abandon that run game. And they do have to start slinging it a little bit more.
So how do you
point of order thing here? When he was with Tennessee, Arthur Smith's big thing about passing, he did 88% of his passing on play action. It was always deep play action, crossing routes and stuff like that. That's his bread and butter. So you're right, and it's all based on the run. That's how it works for him. Sorry, that's just something I knew. A little tidbit for you.
But that's the thing. If you're talking about this offense, that you're a running offense that's going to play action quite a bit. You're not really trusting your quarterback. How do you sit here and say that Arthur Smith? You have more faith in Arthur Smith than you do in Dennis Allen as a head coach to lead your team to wins? Because the offense doesn't work. It's not going to work in this. Sam can speak on it because he's seen it in Tennessee for the last 8 years, I'm sure, or however long it's been. They've been running this kind of offense. It doesn't work when the games matter the most. And the personnel that they have in Atlanta doesn't compare to what they've had in Tennessee. When you have a quarterback, and I know Tannehill's not good right now, but Tannehill has had really good seasons. You had good weapons over
all the way up to 2021.
You've had good weapons in Tennessee at times as well. You don't have that outside of Bijan Robinson. Drake London hasn't shown me anything to really sit there and say, I got to be afraid of Drake London because of who the quarterbacks have been the last 2 years in Atlanta. So there's no trust in the quarterback because there's no trust in the head coach to let him work. So that offense is not going to succeed. And I trust the
grab Jets touchdown.
And I trust what the Saints are doing right now a lot more than I trust what the Falcons have planned and going forward this year.
I'm right there with you, Jonathan. I fully believe you can't rely on the run game. This isn't 1993. This is 2023 here with a whole different kind of ball game.
That's right. When people talk about the Patriots, I talk about their run game. Bill Belichick's trying to go back to 1990s football. You can't do it in this day and age in the NFL.
Oh, what a catch it was, too.
That's why you saw Mac
Wilson
Jones.
and Wilson.
That's why I'm bayoued by Mac Jones yesterday, because he threw 3 touchdown passes. When's the last time the Patriots have thrown 3 touchdown passes in the season? And now you see it with the Bills. The reason the Bills don't win a Super Bowl is because Josh Allen throws the ball to the wrong team.
He's thrown 3 this game, and that's the reason it's tied now. 3 to the same guy caught 3 picks. The guy hadn't had 3 picks his whole in one season. Got 3 in one game here.
That's why when people say, "Oh, the Bills are going to be the AFC champion," no, they're not, because Josh Allen knows they're not to be in it.
They would have finished third if it wasn't for Rodgers getting hurt.
They had the silver platter last playoffs, right? Home game, their home crowd, everything was there for the taking. Didn't take it. In fact, failed. Played awful.
Right.
He played awful, and they didn't have a run game.
Yeah,
they lost.
That's why I think a quarterback like Derek Carr fits the Saints system perfectly, because he's not going to turn the ball over and make careless mistakes like some of these other quarterbacks. That's why if I'm Jonathan, I'm perfectly happy that they signed Derek Carr, because he's a guy that values taking care of the ball and knowing what to do with it in fourth quarter situations when they don't need a turnover and they need first downs.
And I'm sorry, he's got better weapons now than he ever had in Vegas or with the Raiders.
Agreed.
I know he had Devontae Adams last year, but again, Olave's young and he's exciting. Thomas, when Thomas is healthy, that is a great receiver, a possession receiver. He is great as a possession receiver.
The way he broke into those passing routes against us, superb.
Yeah, absolutely superb. And that showed me he's healthy. That showed me. So you have someone who's going to be able to make catches in 8 to 15-yard routes that can turn it into 20 to 22 yards. Great. Shaheed is another speed guy that you have. You have the safety valve on the back. You have Kendre Miller. You have Juan, Jimmy. I mean, the weapons are there. So Carr is going to. I have confidence that Carr is going to play well enough for the Saints to win this division, and I trust what the personnel that are in New Orleans a lot more than the personnel that are out there in Atlanta.
What you don't need from Carr is his usual skid. After week 5, he tends to go down, and his efficiency goes down. Everything goes down. And I don't know if that's a Raiders thing or if that's a Derek Carr.
It's a Raiders thing.
It's a Raiders thing. We had him go to one of the voodoo shops down in uptown New Orleans and try to rid the spirits of that. So we're good. We're good with that now. We're good with Carr, what he's got.
But I think what Carr,
that voodoo that you do so well,
Carr has in common with Aaron Rodgers is they got released or they got given up on by their previous team, and now they have the chip on the shoulder to show their previous team and everybody else that they're a good quarterback. And that's what you have in Derek Carr this year. He's got a chip on his shoulder, a massive one, to show the Raiders and everybody else, hey, I'm not a bad quarterback. It was not me that's the reason why we lost all those games.
Now. Derek Carr can show he's not a bad quarterback because he's not a bad quarterback. What hurts him is the elements that he has to play in. He doesn't have to play in these elements.
That's
on
right.
The schedule.
And I said this with you guys as well. When you have Derek Carr in his career in with the Raiders, you compare him to the division he competed in. When you compare Derek Carr to Pat Mahomes, when you compare Derek Carr to Justin Herbert, yes, Derek Carr is not a good quarterback. Now, compare him to the quarterbacks in the NFC South. Desmond Ritter.
He's the best one in the division.
There you go. There's a different conversation you have now about Derek Carr because of the division he's in. And now, again, it's a different perspective that he can go and just go manage a game, win a game that way, and we're all going to say, at least in New Orleans, we're all saying, yeah, we got the quarterback we needed now.
Mm-hmm.
These INTs are bad tonight.
Jonathan, I want to, before we get you up out of here, I want to ask you a baseball question. The Astros are coming on strong. They've now taken that AL West. It looks like let me double check the standings. I think it was 2 games up on 2 games up.
Balls
Are they now winning this division? Did he just throw a nut? Oh, I thought that was the highlight.
No,
They
fumbled.
win this
He
division.
fumbled it. He just fumbled it. Jets have it.
Oh.
Now there's a
Josh
fight.
Allen?
They're fighting.
Josh Allen fumbled it, I think. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're starting to fight.
You guys are ahead of me.
I'll
Josh Allen's going to lose them this game against the Jets.
say one of my buddies in my league that I'm in for fantasy football. He was down 10 points going in. He had the Jets defense, and he's celebrating right now. I'm sure he's so happy.
Yeah, my
There's
brother
the
has
fumble.
the
Jets
defense
do got it.
as well, and this is
Oh,
ridiculous.
Josh
Like,
Allen looks like he might be hurt.
This is ridiculous. He just fumbled a snap, and then he tried to run it. And he fumbled it.
Before I answer your question, I think this season's week 1 put a more emphasis on how important the preseason really is.
We
talked
talked
about
about that earlier
Talked
today,
about that.
Jonathan.
Exactly what I said.
This has been
Exactly what I
bad
said.
football
amazing.
a lot
Sloppy.
this weekend.
Sloppy.
They're not getting. I said this, Jonathan. They're not getting enough practice time. They've taken away the 2-a-days, the time you're in camp, the OTAs, the time you're in pads, the extra preseason game. That's why week 1, week 2 are just absolute shit games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's less value in the the first 4 weeks now, especially since you have 17 games. Like a lot of, and Sean Payton, I remember him saying this a couple years ago when they first went to 17. He said the first 4 games of the season are now preseason for us. So if we go 2-2 in the first 4 weeks, we're in good shape. If you're 3-1 or 4-0, you're even better. But I mean, it's the first 4 weeks of preseason now. I mean, it's just bad. It's absolutely bad.
That's horrendous.
To answer the question as far as the Astros, yeah, this is, and I'm sure we'll talk. I'm sure Scott and I will talk with Alan about it tomorrow, and and I'm sure that he's going to be so depressed and everything. Hopefully, hopefully Alan keeps his fingers away from more lawn machines and whatnot. Doesn't hurt himself anymore. But
Oh my gosh!
This division has been given to the Astros at this point, and that's the frustrating part for a Rangers fan and even Mariners fan. They got themselves back into the division race, and you're gonna fall apart and let the Astros walk in, basically limp and walk into this to the postseason as a division champion. So I don't see anybody else really in the Mariners figuring out their bullpen, their pitching issues. I don't know if the Mariners have enough gas left after getting back into the conversation to catch the Astros. I think that right now we're seeing that the Astros are going to end up winning this division.
I mean, we're looking at Texas right now on the outside end of the playoffs, period. Seattle has the final wild card spot right now. Toronto there with them. Like we could be seeing Texas possibly the biggest disappointment just during the season, as it went along. This is what
I said to Alan on the baseball show last week. I said at the end of the season, Padres, Mets, Yank, all these teams are disappointing. I said, but the most disappointing team is going to be the Texas Rangers. I know Alan says they're a year before, but you're in the lead in the division for 80% of the year. You give it up to Seattle. Seattle gives it up to Houston. And now if Texas doesn't make the playoffs, they're the most disappointing team in baseball this year. By far.
Yeah.
By far.
Hey, Jonathan, follow-up question is, how worried should the rest of the AL be then with the Astros winning this division and then having that home field advantage in that first round?
I mean, they're the defending champions for a reason. So, I mean, like, this is their time of the year. I would be a little bit concerned. I would be a little bit concerned to have to face them in a series just because of the experience. They're the most experienced team in the American League in postseason play. So, if I'm Baltimore, if I'm Tampa, if I'm any of these wild card teams that I'm going to be facing, and I would be concerned because experience does matter, and you've been there and done it. And there's no other team right now out in the American League that's done it more. So I wouldn't. If whoever has that draw to face the Astros, there should be some nervousness as far as how that series goes.
Hey, Jonathan, if you're Arizona or Chicago. Are you kind of concerned about this Miami Marlins catching fire here? 7-3 their last 10. All of a sudden starting to come alive again like they did towards the All-Star break. Like, what's your thoughts? What's your take on that team?
It's very interesting because I don't really know whether to view this Marlins team. I don't really know, isn't it? They're so up and down, and again, the youth is it's fun to watch. But are they gonna? It's kind of the same thing as I said. Are they gonna have enough in their tank when it matters most? The last 2 weeks of the season to finish this run. That's what I don't know. But if Sandy Alcantara continues to pitch and be able to lead that staff, they could make a run. And they're exciting and fun, and they're just different of a club right now that you can have. They can make some noise. Again, this is the time of the year where the hot team really prevails, and they're hot. So. If I'm the teams ahead, I'm a little bit concerned as in watching them come from behind to catch. Yeah, I would be a little bit. But are they going to? Is the Marlins going to have enough? That's going to be the question right now. Is I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have enough with the pitching. I don't know if they're going to continue to get it going. They still have a series with the Braves. I believe Marlins still have a series with the Braves later this month as well. So that's something that's if they can, they're hoping the Braves clinch.
Oh, he got it.
They clinch the division. They can clinch the NL best record and set some guys, and they can kind of steal that series away. But
yeah,
it's interesting. Again, Marlins have been a fun team all year. They've been a very fun team, and just been up and down. But they're young and exciting to watch. There's a bright future in Miami, and unfortunately, a lot of the Miami fans don't know it. But there's a bright future down there.
There is. So the Marlins,
or it's in Nashville, the Marlins,
right? have Milwaukee. They're in Milwaukee this week. Then they got Atlanta on the weekend. Then they have the Mets at home as well after Atlanta at home. And then they have Milwaukee again for a 3-game series at home. And then they go on the road the last 2 series with the Mets and Pittsburgh. Look, all they got to do is win 1 or 2 of the Milwaukee series, each one. And then as well as at least one of Atlanta. And I think you're talking about possibly a Marlins sneaking into this conversation again.
You can. Again, they've been and when Marlins do make some noise in postseason play, they're a little bit dangerous team. I mean, the last time we've seen the Marlins in the postseason, if I remember, it was 2019.
It was 2020. They beat my Cubs. It's 2020.
2020.
They beat the Cubs.
PTSD.
Yeah.
So that's my point. They find a way when they get into the postseason. They find a way to make some noise. So it's
usually when they make the playoffs, Jonathan, they win the whole fucking thing, right? I mean, 97. What was it? 97, 03. Like when you don't make it often, but when they do, they win the whole thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so it's again this thing. When you have an ace like Sandy Alcantara is, I mean, you have a chance. So and again, this offense can score. The Marlins offense, they have some speed on the team. They have power with Soler. They have a lot of good things that you can mix and match with, and they can be able to do some damage if they have that chance. So, I'm concerned with some of the teams that there. They have to take 2 of 3 at least once from the Brewers. They have to take 2 of 3 at least once. If they can steal a series in Atlanta, I don't know, but if they can steal that series and take 2 of 3, then you're really having a conversation to say the Marlins are for real to make that run. But they have to. It has to be 2 or 3 at least one time against the Brewers, and they have to win the series against the Mets to really get themselves in that conversation.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan, give us your pick before you get out of here. Thursday night, you're 1-0 up on Jim right now. It is Minnesota going to Philadelphia. Philly 7-point favorites at home.
Well, I've been waiting
before Jonathan goes. Before Jonathan goes, who were the only 2 to pick Detroit last week?
I was just about to say,
who were the only 2?
I was waiting for this day because I remember being laughed at. I was being laughed at for picking the Lions to outright win the game. Outright win before Travis Kelce was rolled out too. Before it was not a spur of the moment type of pick.
That's true.
I'm going to go Lions. I picked them from the beginning to win the game. If I go back to
play to win the game,
and I picked to win and upset the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 1. I am on a high note right now. So, with that being said, it is a home game for Philadelphia, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Thursday night.
Yep.
As the season goes, we have a history. We have a history that home teams do better on Thursday night games. I do not trust the Minnesota Vikings defense at all. It's going to be, they're going to score. Minnesota will score. They're going to get their chances to score. But I don't believe that the Vikings can stop the Philadelphia Eagles either. So the spread was, if I remember hearing it, you guys correctly, the spread was Vikings +7, correct?
Vikings
Yes.
+7.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am taking the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover.
Eagles
Eagles
minus
Yes.
Eagles -7. Mark it down.
got it marked. I got it marked.
All right. Hey, Jonathan, what does Alpha got going on this weekend before you get out of here?
Oh, more games this weekend. Been all over the place. We had some fun this weekend. My 14U team this past weekend, they finished in second place right off the bat, their first tournament in the championship. Ran out of gas. Pitching matters most, and it does in baseball. It matters in softball too. Pitching matters. Our pitching just ran out of gas, but a top 2 finish right off the bat for them. Very proud. My 18U team, we had some colleges already talking to a few of my girls their first weekend playing. Had 3 home runs hit. So right off the bat, our power continues to surge, and I'm very proud about that as a hitting coach. So good weekend overall. What we were able to achieve. We're back in action with my 16U team playing this weekend in a big tournament here in Dallas-Fort Worth. My 12U team is in action playing this weekend as well. They're hoping to continue to grow and build on what they've been able to achieve from the summer to where we are to fall. So lots of games, lots of actions all over the place. I'm looking forward to seeing us compete again this weekend.
Love it. Love hearing it.
All right, brother. We'll catch you next Monday night. Hopefully your Saints handle business and, against another, Sam would probably say a good team against
Get the cover, Jonathan. Get the cover.
Hopefully they cover. Hopefully they cover. We appreciate you, Jonathan. We'll see you next Monday, brother.
As always, guys, appreciate it.
See you, Jonathan.
Give it up for the one and only Jonathan Grisham, baby. Ooh, he barely about made the field goal. Hey, I'll read the ad read one more time, and then we'll make our Thursday night picks and say our goodbyes before we get out of here.
Sounds good.
Let me find the ad read again. All right. Nope, now I got to scroll up. Uh-oh. I double-clicked it. Oh, here we go. All right. When our community wins with us, we want you to ensure you've maximized your return on investment. Line shopping for the best odd matters, and that is why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books. Thankfully, there has never been a better time to get signed up, and we're here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide using our link, signupexpert.com/let's talk. You can get access to all the sports books in your region along with a review of each platform and unique features. Most importantly, this page automatically connects you to the top promotions of each book, allowing you to start line shopping with an enhanced bankroll. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sports book at signupexpert.com/let's talk. Again, link to the website is linked in the description of the show. Join our Discord as well. So that is signupexpert.com/let's talk. All right, boys. Scott, we'll go with you.
You're welcome.
Who you got? Tanner, you got the updated rankings, or are you going to put them out on Thursday?
I'll put them out Thursday. I've been working on them this evening, so we'll have everything updated Thursday.
All right, but for Scott, go ahead. It is Philly, Minnesota. Philly, the home favorite at -7.
So Tanner, I can't go with the first half alone. That's it, right?
No, it's
You
game
have to
total.
do
Scott.
the whole game, Scott.
You got to have some extra fucking cojones
for
around
Wednesday
here.
Well, I'll save it for Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday. We'll talk about it before the game on Wednesday.
No, sorry.
I'm going with Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to come out with a vengeance. Home opener against the Vikings, who on a prime time spot usually do not perform well. So I'm going to say Philadelphia wins by 2 touchdowns Thursday night. I think it's going to be 31-17 Philly, and they'll cover the spread. So,
Sam,
I had 31-21 Philadelphia over the Vikings.
Tanner.
I was leaning Philly because I don't really trust what I saw from the Vikings last week.
They lost at home to Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
Correct. But if we look at it here,
Cousins.
I believe it was a Thursday night game last year. Minnesota and Philadelphia went at it as well. Or maybe it was Sunday night. It don't matter. Sunday, it was a primetime game. Minnesota came out on top on that game, 24-7. That was a horrendous game. I believe there were some injuries involved as well. And that was only a -2 favorite for Philly. Give me the
I think
Vikes.
that game was. I think it was early on in the season too, like about week 3.
It was the 19th. So it would be same time frame that we're going into this year. Give me the Vikes at +7. I think you see a little bit of a bounce back there. And once again, I think you keep it close. And if it's 7 points, I'm taking the +7 here.
Tanner makes an excellent point. Philly did not play very well against the Patriots.
Neither team, if you look at the last 3 games, including going to last season, neither team was consistently covering the spread going into the regular season stuff. So you can't judge it on that. But from the head-to-head, that's what I'm judging it on.
I mean, you make an excellent point about last year, but that was last year. The Vikings had a horseshoe up their ass. I'm going to say this. Minnesota did not look good. Neither team looked good. Philly didn't look good either against Scott's Patriots. I mean, they covered the spread, but that was about it. That was a
offensive pass interference. Offensive pass interference on Diggs.
But with that being said, I'm going. It's primetime Kirk Cousins. And there's just 2 things I don't do. I don't cry, and I don't take primetime Kirk Cousins. So therefore, I'm going Eagles at -7. 7's a lot.
You don't cry. You said you don't cry.
And don't forget the other thing that Philly did last year was if they get up big at halftime, they just sat on the ball and ran the ball all second half.
They did, yeah.
And run the clock. So if that happens again this week, that Philly gets up by, say, 17-0 at halftime, they're just going to run the ball the entire second half.
By the way, they didn't run it with DeAndre Swift. They ran it with Kenneth Gainwell.
And
Rashad Penny was inactive.
Absolutely. So watch that, too. That's another
sorry,
thing.
Sam, did you pick already? Did I miss that?
No, I got 31-21 Eagles.
Philly. You're the only one. We'll have to get Johnny's pick.
Jim and I'll get Johnny's, but Jim and I are the only ones hopping on the Vikes train.
Yep.
I just don't trust Kirk Cousins. It's me. I just don't trust him. I can't.
He targeted Addison a lot. He targeted Justin Jefferson. He was getting Osborne a little bit. Hey, look,
his stat line looked pretty good, but they still didn't win the game. And that Minnesota defense isn't very good either.
No, it was rough.
But I think Kirk Cousins leaves
really good.
Yeah, and I think Kirk Cousins leaves a lot on the field.
He does.
As a quarterback. He just leaves too much on the field, too many plays. He's getting hit almost every play yesterday. Every time you looked at Cousins, he was on the ground fixing his shirt, his jersey over his pads. He just takes too many hits. And one of these times, he's going to take one of those hits and it's going to knock him out for 2 or 3 games. So he's going to learn to get rid of the ball a lot faster and a lot quicker. 3-step drop and then boom, it's got to be out. So
that give me the dub against Rios. I think that officially will help me
with the Josh Allen pass.
I need Diggs with like a bunch of receptions, but I think that go away, you stupid updates. Nobody cares.
He just caught his 8th ball, I think. 7th or 8th ball.
Yeah.
So
2nd and 5, 29 seconds.
106, 97. I think Diggs did it. At least I got one thing going for me.
It's always a good day beating Rios.
Why do I have this guy going to come down the field and either tie it up or win the game? That's what's going to happen here.
Well, the Bills are about to tie this game up. It's probably going to go into overtime.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
9 receptions for Diggs, 92 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. Scott, is there anybody we're betting on tomorrow? I know you said you're off the baseball. You're just going straight to football on Thursday.
I have to look at it. I'm off of baseball right now. I'm really knee deep into college and pro. So I'm looking at props tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, the props will start coming out. I'll look at them tomorrow. Baseball wise, I'd have to look at it. Off the top of my head, I think the Braves would probably win money line. And the Yankees and the Red Sox, I think, are playing too. They got rained out tonight. I would tend to go with split in that scenario.
16 seconds left. Who would have thought before we started our who would have thought 4 snaps in, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, the Jets would eventually take the lead 16-13 and the Bills have a chance to I mean
it's not until the fourth quarter here that the Jets have done anything. It's not until the fourth quarter.
The Bills haven't done anything either besides turn the ball over
all night. No, Josh Allen
interception, fumble. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, he's a turnover machine. He really is.
He's doing it today.
This is why the Bills will never win a Super Bowl, because Josh Allen does not value the football. He just slings it around like it's nothing. Like he could throw a pick right here and the game could be over. Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
wouldn't surprise me. They got one more play. Probably it's 3rd and 10 seconds left here. We'll finish this out before we let's catch. Let's see what happens here this last 10 seconds. I'm probably behind, and then we'll get back to everybody.
If I'm the Bills,
I'm right there with you, Nick.
Oh, you're behind too. You're where I'm at.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I'm
must be a Missouri thing.
Short out. I'm throwing a short out to Diggs or Davis, or I'm throwing a screen pass to a running back. That's what I'm doing.
Nah, you try to put this in the end zone. 10 seconds left. You're in field goal range. I try to put this in the end zone.
You're at the 30-yard line. You can't throw it in the end zone.
No, you got to throw it out of bounds. Make it over shoulder.
He ain't throwing it to Diggs in the end zone. If he
tries
to throw it in the end zone, he's stupid. Completely stupid. And he's not. You just tried to throw one to Damian Harris. So
he missed him. 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
6. So you guys are, like I said, you guys are about to play ahead of me.
Yeah, that was Latavius Murray, by the way. That was not Damian Harris.
Oh, it's gonna come down to this, right? Yeah, it's 4th and
Tyler
10.
Bass. He's the best. He's the second best or third best field goal kicker in the NFL.
Oh, Tyler Bass. We're going to overtime, folks.
Money.
Well, then it's a kiss of death, Nick. That's the kiss of death.
What do you do if he misses this? Oh my God!
Hey, I'll be glad I picked the Jets to win and the +2, so I'll take it.
It's a 50-yarder.
Oh, I love this. I love football.
Hits upright and goes in.
I told you. Did it really?
Oh,
yeah. Oh my.
Overtime.
I thought he missed it. I really did.
I did too.
Go ahead. Any final thoughts before we get out of here and watch the rest of the game in overtime?
Couple things. Yeah. Tomorrow night, special Scott Cove show, 7:00 Eastern. Johnny will be co-hosting with me. Bob Harris of the Football Diehards, fantasy Hall of Famer, will be on my program tomorrow night. We'll have plenty to talk about in week 1 with the Aaron Rodgers news and the other stuff that went on. So it'll be a fun 45 minutes to an hour just talking to Bob and getting his thoughts on everything. Very big name in the fantasy industry, so I welcome him greatly to the show. And the second thing is, shout out to everybody in New York, all the firefighters and the police department and everybody that 9/11.
Absolutely.
And the families that lost loved ones and have never recouped from it. We're all thinking of you tonight. We're all, September 11th comes. Yeah. It's a patriotic time in America. So, say a prayer before you go to bed for people that lost loved ones in 9/11. So.
Sam, you got anything other than your Titans are supposed to allegedly a good team?
That's not what I said. So stop putting words in my mouth. And second, that's not what I said. Okay, well, let me reiterate this to you because you can't fucking listen to anybody but your own voice. Let me put this down for you. Okay? God, I hate when you gaslight me. You cannot judge on the first game. Do I agree with you that they're going to suck this year? Yeah, that's the bet I made. Is it proven yet? No. Is it proven yet? No. So shut up. Your Packers aren't decided yet either with 1 win. So let's tone it down a little bit, okay? Now watch me follow this. Ready? I'm with Scott. God bless the first responders and stuff. There's families that are forever going to have a hole and an empty chair because of the 9/11, the valiant efforts of those firefighters and police officers. It's, I watch a documentary of it every time, and of course, we can all remember where we were, and we can all remember, what happened. And I choose to remember how the country came together And boy, it just feels like we're miles away from that right now. And I just hope we can figure that out without something devastating happening. I am hosting the AFC South Roundtable tomorrow, where I'm sure I get to hear a mouthful from everybody else. Unfortunately, I'll have to put up with the 3 Texans fans that for some reason I have to carry.
And who would that be, by the way, Sam? Besides
Sure,
Rios?
it is Carlos, Poppy, and Rios.
Oh, my
Wait,
goodness.
wait, though. We all know Poppy. He probably won't show, so you probably get 2 of the Houston guys.
I hope he doesn't. I know Carlos won't. He's got a parent-teachers conference.
So really, it's the Just Fan show with just you on and talking football.
And then-
No.
There's
There's there's a really cool Colts fan named his name is Dallas Clark. Believe it or not, his name is Dallas
nice.
Clark. Get this. He's named after the Cowboys, but he's a Colts fan.
But he's not named after the Colts player that's named Dallas Clark.
No,
Former
he's
Iowa
named
Hawkeye
after
tight
the
end?
Dallas Cowboys. He's named after the Dallas Cowboys.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Huh.
he was
awesome.
great last week. He was great.
So
I
before
promise to
Tanner
hit
goes,
record this time.
do we have a prediction for the end of the game here? We think the Bills, who got the toss,
Who's got the ball?
I think the Bills.
Yeah.
Bills are going to win, I think.
The Bills are going to win. Then Bills are going to win.
Don't forget, you can't kick a field goal. You got to go for a touchdown if you want to end the game right away. Because a field goal only lets the Jets get the ball. So
It's PT.
Yeah,
Maybe Josh Allen throws a pick 6.
Yeah,
He's
No,
good.
don't say that.
He'll
if
be
he
fine. I think
turns
Bills
it
will
over
win.
one more time, I'm going to hunt down the closest north. Is it Northern New York where Buffalo is? Yeah, Northern New York radio station, and I'm just going to click and eat popcorn. Just sit there.
Listen, Matt, our AFC East roundtable is Tuesdays at 6. Larison is on there. He's a huge Bills fan. If the
Yes,
Bills
he is.
lose tonight because Josh Allen throws a pick 6, somebody's going to have to have a wellness check on Matt.
He didn't like me today. I hopped on the pregame show, and I was like, Bill's about to get walloped. And now we're seeing all this happen.
Why would you say that? Why would you
Wait
say
till
that?
Wednesday
they
night
get
if
walloped,
the
but they could
Jets
lose.
win. Wait till Wednesday night if the Jets win.
I know. It's going to be rough.
Oh,
Tanner, you got any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, guys. Hey, I'm back on the shows. Forget the whole editing crap piece. It's too much focus. I just want to talk sports, dude. So you'll catch me here, of course, Monday on right here on the Monday Night Sports Talk. We'll be back at it Wednesday before the Buffoon Show, 5:30 Eastern, like we talked earlier. Scott, myself, and Matt Larison and Let's Talk Bets give you guys a good preview of what's coming up for the weekend, what we like so far, and maybe some games to watch to see if the line moves any. And then Buffoons, of course, Sports Buffoons, somewhere between the 7 and midnight hour, because we'll see when they show up.
in the
God's
midnight
sake.
hour.
I wish it was a song. And then
It is a
we'll
song.
be back here.
Wilson Pickett.
Yeah, and then of course Thursday we'll talk spreads. Sunday back here for the pregame day show as well.
Just gotta look at Houston, bud. They're all there.
Hey, and don't forget about tomorrow night. I believe they're doing it. Hear me out with the Rec Room Sports guys. I think they're trying to get Johnny on if he's available. So that'll be cool. They got a lot of
False
NFL
start.
takes for Week 1 going into play. So lots of stuff happening, guys, within Let's Talk Sports, and hope to keep it pumping.
Lots of chess pieces moving.
Yeah, my final thought is sports are absolutely insane. When you think something is going to happen, somebody's going to win or this and that. And since Saturday night, maybe one of the biggest UFC upsets in history of the UFC, Sean Strickland absolutely dominates Izzy. Sean Strickland was a plus 650 underdog going into that fight. And he won 4 out of the 5 rounds. One of the top 3 biggest upsets in UFC history. So, I mean, to me, and look at tonight. Once Aaron Rodgers goes down, those are going to run this game down, and now we're in overtime. Sports is just wild, and that's why we keep watching, because every time you think something, you think you know something, It's like women. Every time you think you know one, they change it up on you. So, I mean, that's sports, and that's women, and that's life.
Some terrible, terrible things have happened to Nick in his lifetime. Some really bad things.
So, I mean, it's sports. It's why we keep going. I mean, it's why we keep watching it. Because
you're absolutely right.
You don't know. It's the unpredictability in every sport. Every time you think somebody's going to win a fight, a game, it goes the other round. It goes the other way. That's what makes gambling fun, and that's what makes sports fun. It's always a pleasure. I always love poking the bear with you guys and having fun. We'll be back Thursday night, making all our Thursday night our week 2 picks. Tanner will have us give the updated standings. We will be breaking down all the week 2 actions, picking every game against the spread Thursday night. We'll be back 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. See you then. Be a friend. Tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. Tanner, hit that outro, baby.
Ride it all night
long. Dun, 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 dun. If you're going my way.
Life better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.